available in high definition.
If you like your full throttle drag racing matchups big, then go Funny Car. It doesn't get any larger than Ashley Force Hood, second in the points, taking on the points leader, Ron Capps, in round number 1. But the huge story here in the beautiful Sonoma Valley and Infineon Raceway is in Top Fuel, where for the past 2 races, the competition has had nothing for Antron Brown. Today, they will get one more opportunity to try to keep this man from sweeping his way into the NHRA history books. The NHRA from Sonoma, California, starts now.
In the 20 years of the NHRA's Western Swing, only 6 drivers have swept all 3 races. Today, Top Fuel driver Antron Brown sits poised to make history. He charged to victory in Denver and Seattle. And now Brown is just 4 rounds away from accomplishing one of drag racing's biggest feats, a sweep of the Western Swing. And it is that time back in the staging lanes. There's Troy Buff. He is the guy that, at least in the first opportunity, can take down Antron Brown. And he's 3-0 against Brown. Remember, too, he went to the semifinals last week at Seattle. You hear the engines lighting, you hear the cannons firing at 21 gun salute. This is the day at Infineon. Brandon Bernstein and Tony Schumacher are ready to race. Oh, listen to that crowd on just an extraordinary day at this beautiful Infineon Raceway. They've jammed the stands. They've been here since early in the morning. And all said and done, I think before this day is over, they are going to have one great show. Let's show you the Lucas Oil Ladder. And a special focus on Schumacher and Bernstein. Second week in a row that they're the first pair out. Bernstein, no round wins on the swing. And then there's Antron Brown. 4th time racing, the upset-minded Buff. He's not lost to him.
On the other side of the ladder, I'm focusing on that matchup between Morgan Lucas and Doug Coletta. Doug Coletta has 5 wins here. Would love to get nothing better than to get another one.
So there is Brandon. 4th in the points, 90 points out of 3rd, but solidly in the points. 0-8, though, in the last 8 final rounds, going back to the beginning of 2008. Brandon needs something to happen. Tony Schumacher, well, of course, he has clinched. He clinched at Seattle. And this is a rematch of the first round at Seattle, and it was won by Tony. Also, the first time Mike Dunn down the track. We'll find out what the track's going to hold.
Always tricky, and Brandon has yet to get a round win on the Western Swing. Obviously, he would like to do that right now and try to get the race win when it's all said and done.
That Tony Schumacher power is awful hard to deal with. Brandon runs a 397, but Tony runs a 387 with a 2 and takes the win. And so the first pair is down the track, and Nitro is roaring at Infineon. NHRA Full Throttle Drag Racing Series, Sonoma, California. It doesn't get much prettier or a much better facility, the Fram-Autolite Nationals. And we welcome you as we start what will be a great day of competition. Coming to the line now, there's Sean Langdon, 7th in the points as a rookie, and Clay Milliken's in the other lane.
Let's take a look at the previous run. That was a pretty good old drag race. I got to give credit to Tony Schumacher, crew chief Mike Green. That car's been running well all weekend, and then to step up and run a 387 in the initial pair of cars on the racetrack tells you the track conditions are good. They knew it, and make a very nice pass to get around Brandon Bernstein.
The weather here, you know, it always is a little questionable, especially early in the morning out here on the West Coast. Right now, great for the fans. Air temperature is perfect. Water drains, they're down nice and low. Hey, even the density altitude's working for us.
Just talking with Mark Oswald. That's Antron Brown's co-crew chief, who's coming up in the very next pair about the track conditions right now. The conditions very, very good. The marine layer has burned off a little bit earlier here than usual, so the track is already 100 degrees, but very, very tight right now. But as this first session goes on through Funny Car, it's going to start to wane a little bit. The track temperature is going to go up a lot. The only other concern, maybe some bumps out there from about 150 feet to 300 feet in the left lane. It's a little rough for these cars. Look for lane choice primarily to be over on the right side.
As we move through the countdown, too, a loss by Milliken would help Brandon Bernstein clinch. Yeah, but it isn't going to happen this time. 392 with a 311 miles an hour. Clay is flying. The losing 411 with a 3.
Well, Lance Larson, crew chief, Mark Pickens, the owner, very happy with this run. They struggled in qualifying, only got down the racetrack one time, but boy, they came out and laid down a very nice run here in the first round to take out Sean Langdon. Sean was favored going in here, had a better car in qualifying, but hey, today is another day.
Morgan Lucas, Sean's teammate, reacts to that. Well, the moment is fast approaching because Antron Brown is now up on the line. Troy Buff is alongside. They get the engines lit. Will that man right there do it? Go into the sweep. Take all 3 of the races. Denver, Seattle, and Sonoma. We are about to find out. From a week ago at Seattle, a look at Troy Buff. Bill Miller engineered car, and this is, of course, today, and they are on the line. Moments ago, Dave Reeve caught up with Antron Brown.
Everybody on the Matco team knows what's at stake today, including Antron Brown. And Antron, I'm just curious how the last 24 hours of your life has been spent. What's going on in that stomach?
It's flipping all around. I'm feeling seasick, but that's all part of it. I mean, that's the pressure you get in NHRA drag racing. That's why we do what we do, Dave. And it's a great feat if we can pull it off this today. But we ain't going to do nothing different. We're going to take it one round at a time, and we're going to give it everything we got like we do each and every weekend.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
So there's the signal. Visor down. Ready to go. Antron, first nitro racer to clinch. Holds the 1,000-foot record here. A 380 with a 5. Okay, Antron Brown continues that march on. Thought for a moment there he had a challenge.
Well, he did have a challenge. Let me tell you, that was a close drag race to about the 8th mile mark. Brian Crotty, Bill Miller saying, man, that was just a good old drag race. Great job by both these teams. Nobody's going to hang their head on this one. The drivers left pretty much even. Actually had a slight advantage off the starting line, and they were pretty much dead even to the 8th mile. But Antron was running slightly quicker that 8th mile. That's what allowed him to pull away and get the finish at the 1,000-foot mark.
And so the march towards the broom continues on. Antron can sweep the swing. Let's go to Dave Reeve.
Well, Brian Karate, you've got 2 of the 3 out of the way. 1 round win here, still 3 to go. You were the best car in the last 2 races. What kind of car do you have this weekend?
I think we have a pretty consistent car. It goes up and down the racetrack. It's fine. We're not going to do anything out of the ordinary. The racetrack.
You got one that can win today, you think?
Pardon me?
Do you have a car that can win today?
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Well, so it's some pretty exciting stuff. Just to start off the top of the show, Antron Brown now just 3,000 feet away from the chance to grab that broom and sweep the swing. The swing started in Denver, up at altitude, then went to Seattle, and then finally here in Sonoma Valley of California. It's a very difficult event to do well at.
Oh, I'll tell you, it's tough to be able to sweep the swing. I even said last week in Seattle that I didn't think anybody was going to be able to do it, and Antron went out and won and obviously set the stage for today. And like Brian Karate said, he feels he can because he has a very good car, and I can't argue with him. It's not easy. Conditions change all the time as you look at how hard these crew chiefs have to work when you go from 5,800 feet above sea level to here in Sonoma where it's only 15 feet above sea level, and you never know what you're going to get being this close to the bay. It could be 60 degrees or it could be 105 degrees. cars.
And added to that, most of the shops are on the western edge of Indianapolis, Indiana, and so getting your parts back and forth if you actually need something, that can be a bit of a challenge as well. Back to Top Fuel on the line right now. Here's Steve Chrisman. He turned 55 years old last week. That's the new 30. And J.R. Todd driving for David Baca, his third race of the season. And J.R. sits in here, #1 qualifier. Well, Todd, with a failing Chrisman, gets down the track, runs a 391 with a 4, and gets a mark on the win column.
JR's your #1 qualifier, as you said, coming in here. Steve Chrisman spun the tires as soon as he hit the throttle. Track conditions look very good because we're seeing some very good numbers. That 391 by JR, though, will not get him lane choice because so far Tony Schumacher has low ET of the round with that 387.
Back at the line, ready to go. Rolling back, Larry Dixon. He clinched at Seattle. The other lane, that's Mike Strasburg. Now, when Funny Car comes up, there is a huge story there. Gary Gerald.
And coming up shortly, the first round of eliminations in Funny Car, and it's a must-see showdown involving the season points leaders, Ron Capps and Ashley Force Hood. Capps has won 5 times this year. He's #1 in points, but his lead over Ashley is merely 16 coming into eliminations, and that's less than 1 round of racing. So, #1 in points on the line coming up when Capps and Ashley Force Hood go side by side for the 5th time this year. Each driver has won on 2 previous occasions.
But Top Fuel over in the far lane, Mike Strasburg. He and his family, they run the Bonneville salt flats, do the high-speed stuff. And the whole family's run over 200 miles an hour. In the meantime, of course, Larry Dixon, Alanabi Racing, 3rd in the points, clinched at Seattle. He's 6-0 racing Mike.
Yeah, Mike's got a tough task to get around Larry. Larry did spin the tires in both qualifying runs yesterday, but Alan Johnson, Jason McCall, they'll try and push the envelope, see where they're at. They'll get some good information and put a good setup here for the first round, and they're hoping to get the win. Oh,
whoa, how about that?
There's an upset.
There we go. Well, it is no longer 6-0. And Strasburg, he's got some good help. You know, he's got Tony Shortall, Dexter Tuttle, they're helping him, and the Strasburg family tuned that car. But when you have the other guy just go up and smoke like that, you're there. But it looks like he was there, too.
Well, I mean, yeah, that was the best run of the weekend for Mike Strasburg. Larry Dixon went up into tire shake, basically, and drove up into tire smoke. That was a little bit different than what we saw yesterday. They were spinning the tires farther down track, so that probably caught both Alan Johnson, Jason McCullough by surprise when they go back and look at the data on that racetrack. Right side of your screen, Strasburg had some problems just before the finish line. That thing backfires the supercharger big time, slows down to 275 miles per hour, but still good enough to get the win.
Well, here comes Terry Haddock and Corey McLenithan. A big day for Corey because he carries Fram on the car, and this is the Fram-Autolite Nationals. Always important to try to do well in front of the company that helps you do all the good racing that you do. Let's go to Gary Gerald.
With J.R. Todd, he qualified #1, only the 3rd time in his career to do so, but only his 3rd event this season. So that was a great milestone. But how much more significant to come out with that on your shoulders and win that first round?
Oh, that's huge. You know, first round's usually the toughest one of the day, so you get that out of the way and things start flowing. The guys get in the groove working on the car. I start getting in the groove driving, so hopefully we can go 3 more rounds a day and go the distance for Mach 1 Global Service, Redline Oil, and PJ1. I'm still having fun. That's all that matters.
There you go. That second step's going to be tough. He got Schumacher, of course, coming up.
That'll be a tough matchup for him. But right now, Corey McLenithan's got Terry Haddock in the other lane. Terry doesn't have very many round wins, but when he does win, he usually beats the world champion. He's beat, what, Gary Selzy and John Force, you know, in funny cars. So, I mean, this guy knows how to beat the big guys, but he needs a little bit of luck along the way to do it. Corey's had a pretty good car this weekend. They had a problem with catching on fire. They burned an exhaust valve yesterday and had a pretty big fire. But other than that, the car's been going down the track pretty good.
McLenithan, 393, 297 miles an hour to a losing 403 for Terry Haddock.
Corey McClenathan had a really nice run going. Watch the left side of your screen to about 330, and then a cylinder goes out. It slowed the 8th mile speed down to 262. Probably took about 10 miles an hour off that speed. And if had it stayed lit and stayed hooked, he probably would have ran about 400 or 500 quicker.
Well, back in the pits right now, they're working away on Clay Milliken's car, and the reason they're doing it so hard now is because they realize they have Corey McClenathan when they come back for a second round.
And Paul, as we look forward to Funny Car in that Titanic matchup, Ron Capps is here in the staging lanes. Ashley Force is getting set as well. We'll talk to both of those, but don't forget about Tony Pedregon. Should either one of these two drivers slip up, he could actually leave Sonoma with the points lead. More action for the Full Throttle Drag Racing Series from Sonoma coming up in just a minute. It's the Fram-Autolite Nationals, where Top Fuel Eliminations Round 1 continues with the man who's 11th in points, Joe Hartley. He needs to have a good race. Only 16 rounds left. He's set to take on Spencer Massey. But back in the staging lanes, I'm with Ron Capps. And Ron, after winning 5 times and being a point leader a lot of this season, it shouldn't be this darn close, but it is. And for your efforts, you get the number 2 person in the points in round number 1. Your thoughts?
Well, it's kind of giving us a taste of what we're going to have the rest of the season with a countdown. I mean, this is a lot of drivers. It's strange. We're over kind of by the bathrooms here, watching every driver come in and out of the bathroom, and it's the nerves. You know, every one of these drivers, it's that time of the season. Guys are on the bubble. For us, Briggs and Ashley, I mean, we know we're going to race her for the championship down the road. She's going to have to be one of those people you know are going to be in, along with about 9 other great cars. So right now, I feel those juices in the back of my jaw that are getting me ready for the countdown, and it's going to be fun. They got a better car so far, but you know how Ace is when he gets back in a corner.
I'd ask him if there's nerves in the belly, but I think the answer is yeah.
Spencer Massey and Joe Hartley on the line. Hartley over there, left lane. And we have another upset going. Wow. We sure do. Joe Hartley, they've been running a little bit softer motor. They say they just want to try and do the whole season. They've done every race this season. Now they've got that round win. That's terrific for them. And the Snake, he has to walk away. He's the owner of Spencer Massey's car and has a pretty terrific record here as well. Speaking of Don the Snake Perdome, did you know that he raced drag boats? Did you know that he was crazy? Because we're going to show you this. Take it away, Mike.
Let me tell you, if you race drag boats, you are crazy. And this is the one time he tried it, and look what happened. It was not a happy ending. And I can tell you one thing. I don't know what actually happened, but the story goes that after he crashed, he swam to shore, got in his car, and left and said, I'm done.
Proving that he's somewhat of a bright man.
He figured that one out.
And dumb to get in the thing. Well, NHRA Full Throttle Drag Racing Series will head off to Brainerd next for the Lucas Oil Nationals. Saturday, August 15th will be the qualifying NHRA race day presented by Lucas Oil. On Sunday the 16th, the finals at 10 o'clock in the evening. Let me talk about a hot track. Well, Stat Guy, what do you have?
Well, we're talking about the Brainerd race. If John Force doesn't win here at Sonoma, he has won Brainerd 11 times. That's the most win for any funny car driver at a single event. Mike Dunn, you remember a racetrack you've had a lot of success at? Anything comes to mind?
Brainerd? Nah, nothing comes to mind.
Wait a minute, you did pretty good here. Top Fuel here, didn't you?
Top Fuel. I think I won Top Fuel in. Nah, I never won funny car in Brainerd.
Morgan Lucas. His 200th round of Nitro racing. He's going to have to do it alongside Doug Coletta, the winner of the first race of the season. So we've got 2 guys who have scored wins this year in Top Fuel. And Morgan goes around 387, 308 miles an hour. Connie Coletta looks down at Doug and says, wow, they just ran the quickest run of the round against us.
Yeah, nice pass by Morgan. All the other teams that are going up there spinning the tires in front of him. Jimmy Wallace puts a nice tune-up on there. He wasn't bashful. Goes out there and runs a nice 387 laps time.
And so the Lucas Oil ladder as they get ready to go. Well, you got to start off with Todd. And then Schumacher Wow. Okay, that's good. Then what about Antron Brown and Joe Hartley, who can lay down those numbers?
That's right. Other side of the ladder, you got Mike Strasburger, Morgan Lucas. And how about that matchup? Corey McClenathan and Clay Milliken. Clay's going to have the lane choice.
Well, we continue our theme started a week ago. It's round number 15 as we fight this great championship battle with Ashley Force Hood gonna take on Pretty Boy Caps. That's all coming up when we return to the beautiful hills of the Sonoma Valley.
Same old situation. I've been knocked down, I've paid my dues. Well, this time will be different. I'm gonna win, 'cause this girl don't like to lose. I'm gonna grab the wind and fly, drive it like a steamboat.
Hey, we said it was gonna be a good day, and it is. Already we've seen a couple of upsets as J.R. Todd's car is being pushed back into the pits, getting ready. He's got Tony Schumacher to face when Top Fuel comes out again. Look at the crowd. Just look at the natural beauty of this place. It's a great racetrack. Everybody loves coming here, and especially when you come to the end of the 3-race Western Swing. Let's look at the funny car ladder because we're ready to start with those ground pounders. And special attention on the battle for 10th in the points. Matt Hagan, he's the #1 qualifier, his first career pole, and he gets the race, the champ, who desperately needs some round wins.
We got some big matchups on the other side of the ladder, but none are bigger than Ashley Force Hood and Ron Capps. But our upset alert, Robert Height and Jack Beckman. Robert Height is looking to start turning his season around, but he's going to have to get around a red-hot Jack Beckman.
You're going to try it again, huh?
Yeah.
You must be getting a lot of money for that.
Yeah, Jack's real happy that I picked Robert Height to upset him. Figured that's a guaranteed second-round showing.
There's Jeff Wren, the Coletta Top Fuel car has ruled here at Sonoma, and maybe that will be some good karma for the funny car, even with Doug Coletta out. Tim Wilkerson moved up 2 places in the points with his win just a week ago at Seattle.
Well, and Jeff Wren and John Oberhofer and the team, the funny car has been coming around. It's been looking better, but, you know, Tim Wilkerson, the bad news, his car's been looking a lot better lately because both of these teams struggled early in the season, but Tim's really been on a roll lately. This weekend's no exception. He's looked very good in qualifying. On paper in qualifying, you know, Tim has the advantage, but remember, we saw some upsets in Top Fuel.
Not there, though. Tim Wilkerson, 417, 295 miles an hour to a losing 426. You may have noticed that they have put Jeff Wren's name on the top of the car now. That's nice for them.
Well, I'll tell you, Tim Wilkerson is definitely getting a handle on that Mustang. This thing is going down the racetrack now. It looks kind of like it did last year when he was dominating the beginning and the middle of the season. Jeff Wren, nice pass up for him, but unfortunately, came up a little bit short.
Well, how about Ashley Force? Dave Reef is with her.
The fast and the furriest Ashley Force Hood, of course, her cat Simba. Ashley, Ron Capps again. Boy, this is starting to become commonplace here.
I know we seem to match up with each other a lot, but usually it's later on in the day. So how we ended up first round, I'm not sure, but we're just going to try to do our best. It'll be a great race. Tim and I are both locked into the countdown now. This morning we got to put our names up along with Tony Pettigrew. So that's a huge sigh of relief, I think, for all of us. We'll do the best we can with this Ronald McDonald House car for Castro and Ford and everybody, and hopefully have a great day in this beautiful place, Sonoma.
Yeah, a beautiful comfort place for her. She got married over in Lake Tahoe, not too far from here, and not that long ago.
And on the track, you just saw Tim Wilkerson win, and now his alliance partner, Bob Tasca, comes out. He's 7th in the points. He dropped a spot after Seattle. And Brian Thiel is on the other side. Well, are you all in? All new World Series of Poker returns to ESPN on Tuesday night. Be there for the drama, the flop, the turn, the river, where a player's exhilaration and high can immediately be followed by devastating low. And a single card reveals their fate. Boy, have you and I been there.
We're not talking about playing cards either, are we?
Yeah, no. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Let's take a look at Bob Tasca and how he's fared last season versus this season.
All you got to do is look at that round record right there that I crossed over. It's 6-13 last year, 16-13 this year. 2 finals with 1 win. Definitely a turnaround season. And I'll tell you, in qualifying, Bob Tasker probably had one of the best cars when you take all 4 sessions. Going down the track, yesterday made 2 very good runs in the heat. But Brian Thiel in the other lane, he's got Paul Smith as his crew chief. Paul Smith knows how to tune a race car.
Well, gave him a run, but Ford 22 with a 4, 297 miles an hour against that 431 gives Tasca the win light.
Well, you saw Brian Thiel go in deep stage. That means you put the top stage light. Watch the top of the tree right over here on the right side of that. He's going to pre-stage, and then when he rolls into stage, he's going to keep rolling until that top light goes out. What that does, it gets you a little bit closer to the actual starting line, which helps your reaction time, but it slows your lapse time down because the car doesn't get that roll. And we're only talking 12 inches, but it makes a big difference. The problem with Brian, though, was basically had a cylinder out early in the run. That allowed Bob Tasca to get the win.
Well, all right. Having said that, we have a drag racing glossary for you. And it's deep staged, and you keep trying to get this across. I got it.
Well, just when he or she rolls in a few inches farther, causing the pre-stage light to go out. Driver's close to the finish line, but maybe at the risk of a foul start.
The burnouts of Mike Neff and Jerry Tolliver. When we return, Ashley Forcehood, Ron Capps, top 2 in points. Should they slip up, beware. Tony Pedregon is laying in wait, and he can add up points in a big, big way. We'll talk to him when we come back to Sonoma.
The NHRA Full Throttle Drag Racing Series, and we're not so far away from that. We're just a little north of the Bay Area. That, of course, is the Golden Gate Bridge. And Stat Guy tells me they actually surf underneath the board, underneath the bridge. I wonder what it's like when you get like one of those aircraft carriers coming through. Mike Neff and Jerry Tolliver on the line. Neff over there on the right, 9th in the points. Tolliver's out of it. Neff runs a 4:12.7, 302, so he's got a number, quickest of the session.
I'll tell you, that's a nice run in the heat. John Medlin's got to be happy with that. He always does well here. Did well with his late son, Eric, winning here before. And Mike Neff won his first race as a crew chief with Gary Scelzi at this racetrack. So Mike Neff really likes it here, and this is why. I mean, he's run almost 257 miles per hour at the 8th, a 4:12 at 302 miles per hour. I know we got a few more pair left, but I got to believe that's going to be a pretty good run for this session.
You know, Tony Pedregon likes it here. In fact, he likes it anywhere. Anytime he can get strapped into the office, which he's about to do for a matchup with Del Worsham, he is good to go. Tony made up some crucial points last week in a runner-up finish. What kind of car do you have this weekend?
Well, we still have a car that goes down the track. It's consistent. We didn't take advantage of the Friday evening run where we had the good conditions. So conditions are real good. They're cooler than any of the other runs that we've had, with the exception of the Friday night run. Probably going to have to make one of our best runs because we've got a tough opponent. But again, a good opportunity because Capps and Ashley are racing. So we're hoping to gain a little ground on one of them.
Tony coming up shortly, but right now it's Cruz. You're on board. And he's going to face the #1 qualifier, Matt Hagan. Cruz earlier was able to walk us through a burnout.
I'm going to walk you through a nitro funny car burnout. The main thing that I do is I try to be consistent and steady and above all smooth. The main purpose of a burnout is to heat the motor up for starters, and also give the tires some heat and to put tracks on the racetrack starting line so that the crew can back me up into those tracks to give us a nice platform to launch. The main thing I do is I pull up and I really try to be smooth with the clutch. I just barely let it out. I let go of the brake as I roll into the throttle stop, and I steer the car nice and straight. I ease off the throttle, pull the brake, push back on the throttle. I put the car in reverse. Again, gently release the clutch, back the car up into the tracks. As I get back to the starting line, I stop. Again, I push the clutch in. I put it back in forward gear, and I kind of take a deep breath. But I really want to give the crew chief and the crew a very consistent, replicated burnout every time, so it's the same every time, like a machine. That's what I do, and I'm getting ready to go down the track after that.
So now you know how to do that. Matt Hagan, #1 qualifier. First time he's done it was on the flight out to San Francisco with me. So he went home, got a little rested.
Yeah, and he had a very good car in Seattle last week in qualifying. He missed the Friday night session when they had a chute deploy before he started the car. And other than that, he made 3 very good runs, but then smoked the tires in the first-round matchup with Jack Beckman. And then in this weekend, he's had a great race car. I'm talking about Matt Hagan. Cruz still struggling a little bit. You know, your defending full throttle champion really needs to kind of get this thing together and start going some rounds and getting some race wins.
And these are 10th and 11th in the points. The cutoff is going to be 10. Wow, once again. Little surprise, 416 with a 4, 295 mile an hour, and Cruz takes down #1, Matt Hagan.
How about that? His quickest run of the weekend. It couldn't come at a more inopportune time for Matt Hagan, who, like I said, had a good race car. Makes a good run, not great, a 423, but Cruz Petragon in the other lane was making a really nice pass. 416 at 295 miles per hour. Go on board. At half track, he's run almost 260 miles per hour, and the car started skating around at that speed, but he hung on and got the win.
Give you the Lucas Oil photo finish. Look at that, a full car length. And so Cruz rolls to a stop. We want to show you the funny car point standings around 10th. It's so important. Cruz sits there right now. Hagan just 6 points back. Neff 27 ahead. But so much can change. We're coming to the end of the possibility of earning points to get into the countdown. Just 16 rounds left. John Force, he's 8 points up there. And here is the daughter, Ashley Force Hood. And this is the matchup. #1 and 2 in the points, and here's what they've done this season, Mike.
They're 2-2 going head-to-head on that. Ashley Force and Ron Capps, and this is basically the rubber match right here.
So, stat guy, you got some numbers on them.
Oh, no doubt about it. Ron Capps has led first 4 times in their 4 matchups prior. But check out these average reaction times, Mike. A 69 for Ron Capps. Ashley Force stood at 105. Might be a difference in the way they stage 2.
That has something to do with it, but Ron Capps is very steady on the racetrack. Now, he's your number 14 qualifier, but the biggest reason for that is because he did not get to make the Friday night session. They had an oil leak when they started the car and completely missed that, so all their runs have been made in the heat. Well, that's good news now, because now they have an idea what the track's going to be. It's actually probably a little bit better than anything that Ron Capps has seen. But Ashley Force, on the other hand, she's been pretty much going down the racetrack in all the conditions. Did that great 409 on Friday night. Came back with a 417 in the final session. Yesterday, Ron Capps went a 423 after he got together just to get in the show in the final session. That put him in that number 14 spot.
2 incredibly stout teams. Ed the Ace, Don Schumacher Racing on Capps' car, and of course, Guido Antonelli and the whole John Force Racing operation on Ashley's car. Big moment. Now Ashley's in trouble. Ron Capps, a 427 with a 7, 287 miles an hour, and that will stretch out his points lead.
Well, I won't say that's a huge upset, but you had 2 very good cars on the starting line, like we said, just because of the way qualifying played out. They ended up meeting up in the first round. Ashley rolled her in a little bit deep. Watch that stage light comes on. She keeps rolling just a little bit right there. That probably knocked about 300ths off her reaction time, which gave her the advantage off the starting line, at least on paper. But then it started to spin the tires. They tried to apply the clutch, and that was all she wrote for her. And Ron Capps, even though did not make a great run, vulnerable, he still gets the round win. One more look at her. Like I said, launched, gets through the shake zone fine. Now here you're trying to apply the clutch and the power, and you're just trying to be real ginger about it. And obviously they just went a little too aggressive, spun the tires. Did a good job of catching it the first time. Stayed in a little bit too long on the second run, but no harm, no foul. And at that point, she knew her day was done.
Yeah, at least she's bringing home a car without any scrapes on it. Look down track, though, Mike. She had him down to the 330. Well, here could come one of those bad moments for Mike Dunn. This is his upset alert. That would be Jack Beckman and Robert Height, and it is Mike's E3 spark plug upset alert. We'll see how he fares this weekend. Let's go down track to Gary.
Ron Capps taking a look at the timesheet here, and as the crew pulled up, he said that was a lucky break. How lucky was it?
Very lucky. I don't know, they put a hole out, but it had a whole lot of rattling going on in the car, and it just wasn't going anywhere at mid-track, what I'm used to anyway with a Napa car. And I saw her poke her fender out there. Car looks like a cornflakes car to me. So I saw the car poke out there, and I thought, oh, cornflakes! And then it went away, and mine, I had a full tilt on the wheel, and I don't know what was going on with ours, but it was a lucky break. You got to have one of those every round, and we're pitted next to each other with the motorhome's up on the hill, and she said if I beat her, she's going to TP my motorhome, so I got to have the kids on guard now.
All right, thanks, Capsy.
Yeah, you got to remember that Ashley has been traveling the entire circuit in a motorhome, and I haven't seen her husband lately, and I'm worried. Because that motorhome thing, that can be tough.
Yeah, cornflakes.
Yeah, it's fun. And that's Jimmy Prock. He's looking over. He's watching to see what Beckman and his crew are going to do. Robert Height needs to make some things happen. He's had a very tough season thus far. And then, of course, he pulls the very tough Jack Beckman, who is 4th in the points. Robert's 12th, 49 points out of 10. It's got to get better soon for him.
Wow, how'd that happen?
Wow! Mike got one! Hole shot. 415 with a 9, 299 miles an hour. I don't know who to congratulate more.
Well, Robert made me look good. I'm going to have to buy him a hamburger at McDonald's, I guess, for that one because he won on a hole shot. Just a great side-by-side race. Both cars did an excellent job. But you see the difference on the starting line. The advantage for Robert Height, when you look at the rags time and the elapsed time, that time at the bottom is actually how long it took after the green light came on for Robert Height to cross the finish line, and it ended up being about a car length over Jack Beckman.
Now, you're feeling really good about that, aren't you?
About time.
There's Ron Capps' reaction. Yeah. But now he's got to think about this. It's Robert Height that he catches when they come back to the line in the second round. We take you back up to the line. Got a pretty stout pair coming up next. Del Worsham, Tony Pedregon, he's watching all this, hoping to move forward. Just to look at the run one more time in the Full Throttle Drag Racing Series Fram-Autolite Nationals. Ashley Force Hood streamed a little smoke, fell back. Ron Capps.
27.
Had a hole out or something.
Yeah, had a hole out, but
he was crushing you, and it hurt something.
Still ran very well, and they're right. Well, here is Del Worsham and Tony Pedregon. Now, Pedregon obviously watching very carefully what happens to Capps and Force Hood because he's sitting in 3rd place. Now he's in, Ashley's out. He's got a chance to start moving up.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, Tony Pedregon wins a lot of races, and the reason why he wins races is because he's focused. And at this point, I don't think he cares what is going on with him. Right now, he wants to get around Del Worsham.
Tony has not lost first round all season, and once again, he does it there. That's amazing. Both of the Alanabi cars out in the first round.
I'll tell you, Alan Johnson only had 2-round wins with Larry Dixon on this Western swing. That's the worst he has ever done. And then to add insult to injury, Del goes out there and spins the tires early. We've seen that a lot, though, when that car runs in the heat. It's very good in the cool conditions. But when the sun's out, Tony Pedregon definitely has a good race car.
So those who have actually swept the swing, that is, win at Denver, Seattle, and here at Sonoma. Top Fuel looks this way. 4 drivers in the class. Joe Amato, the first in 91. Corey.
The other 2, Larry Dixon in 03. Last year it was Tony Schumacher with Alan Johnson tuning.
How about in funny car? John Force, 1994.
And the only one to do it in pro stock is Greg Anderson when he did it 10 years later in 2004.
So when you're talking John Force, he is now where he does his best work in the cockpit, getting strapped in and getting ready to go racing. And right now, Dave Reef has Antron Brown.
Yep, back in the Matco Tools pit area, business as usual as they prepare for their round 2 matchup against Joe Hartley. And Antron, I can see a little more relief on your face right now. How much does that disappear here as we get closer now to round 2?
Well, it's one at a time, Dave. So that's one round out the way. That first round's a tough matchup with Troy Buff, and now we got another tough component with Joe Hartley. I mean, they're fighting to survive to stay in that top 10, so they're hungry. So it's going to be a tough round matchup, but it's always good to get past that first round jitters. You know, now my stomach stopped flopping. It's steadied right now, so I'm all right.
How hungry are you, though? Show me a good hungry face. Yeah, I like it.
I love Antron.
You gotta love him. Well, let's talk about John Forrest for just a minute now. His winless streak is now at 29 races. He last won Topeka in 08, and some funny car qualifying history here.
Man, there's some big names there. 1988, that was the top 8 qualifiers from Kenny Bernstein all the way down to Bruce Larson. Some guy in 6 doesn't really quite fit in there with all these other big names, because there's a lot of former champions right there. 6 out of 8 to be exact.
In 88, you had top speed of the race, guy. Come on, blow your horn a little bit here. Tell the people who you used to be.
Yeah, I used to be somebody, but not anymore.
Well, Gary Denton and John Forrest coming up to the line now.
This is a classic matchup. You know, John Forrest up against his good friend Gary Denton and former teammate. Gary's the only time he's only national events wins. He's got 8, and they were all when he was driving for John Forrest. Would love nothing better than to get his first win as a car owner. But first he has to get around his old boss. And he does it.
Baby!
How about that?
And that's Gary Denton's own car. You remember he was racing for Haddock, now in his own car, and he takes down John Forrest. Boy, are we seeing a day here?
How about that? We are seeing some upsets, I want to tell you. Man, Gary Denton, what can you say? Let's take a look at John Forrest, though, because he got in some trouble. He made it through the shake zone. Then when they started applying the clutch, I mean, he had Hook going pretty straight, and then as soon as it spun the tires, it backfired. So it was done at that point, but he wasn't going to catch Gary anyway, because Gary makes a nice run to run that 4:21 elapsed time. I'll tell you, lane choice, everybody's been taking that right lane, but there is nothing wrong with this left lane. The people here at Infineon Raceway have done a great job of prepping the track along with the safety safari. This track is holding up very well in the heat right now.
Well, here is the Lucas Oil ladder in funny car. Guess what? Denton now will take on Cruz Pedregon, who of course took down the #1 qualifier. And then you look down a little bit further. Tim Wilkerson, Bob Tasca, they're teammates. They'll face each other.
And look at these matchups on the other side of the ladder. Mike Neff and Tony Pedregon, Ron Capps, and Robert Hyde. It doesn't get any better than that.
Hey, G-Man, I'm guessing Gary Denton's pretty happy.
Boy, you betcha. He popped out of that helmet with that big Denton smile. The stats over the years when you weren't a teammate for John Forrest, I think this is the 29th time you faced him, only the 4th time you've beaten him. What's that feel like?
That feels great. You know, obviously, I know how great that team is over there, but, you know, on any given day, we can beat him. We've got a great team of our own. Wish we could run more, but, you know, thanks to Lost and Rock and Oil and you know, Cummins West and Valley Trucking, and, you know, we're here. I'm really, you know, so excited. You know, I mean, an old guy likes me to come out and I got to show those pups that's good every once in a while, you know. And, you know, we're loving life with Quan International, trying to break our sport international and globally. It's something we really need to do.
And remember, Gary's just a little bit older than John Forrest. Way to go, old fella.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you want to see the old guy when he came to a stop? Is that a happy man or what? We're done with funny car, and we go to Pro Stock next. The NHRA Full Throttle Drag Racing Series, race 15 to 24. It's the Fram-Autolite Nationals. We are in California, just north of the Bay Area. Well, round the bases with ESPN for 2 nights of Major League Baseball action. First catch, Monday Night Baseball, presented by Holiday Inn at 7. 2 of the best hitters in the game take the field. And then 2 red-hot teams in the American East battle on ESPN's Wednesday Night Baseball, presented by Smirnoff Ice. That's all coming up on ESPN. All right, let's take a look at the ladder. Pro stock cars coming out on the line right now. And one of the keys here is Greg Anderson. He has not won a race this season. He needs something good to happen. 60% of his career wins have come from the pole, and he's on the pole.
Other side of the ladder, two of the best drivers in the business going at it first round. Jeg Coughlin and Greg Stanfield, with Jeg having the lane choice.
So the first pair, Kurt Johnson and Warren Johnson. This is a family affair.
Look at his round record, but the key right here is Warren and Kurt. It's always entertaining when they come to the line, no matter how well or how bad they're running, because like I've always said, Warren will not cut Kurt any slack. Kurt has to earn the win if he's going to want to get around the old man. And somehow the old man just seems to kind of step up when he's racing Kurt, among some other drivers. Just certain drivers get Warren up on the chip, as we say.
What a difference a year makes. For Kurt, last year at this time, he was second in the points and had 2 race wins. Not this year. Now Kurt left on him. And that worked all the way to the end. He runs a 662 with a 209 miles an hour, and left almost 26 hundredths faster.
Warren Johnson was only 1,000 slower on the racetrack, but that reaction time advantage off the start. Take a look at the Lucas Oil photo finish cam. It's about a half a car length at the stripe.
I want to take you back a week at Seattle, when they had sportsman racing there. And look at this, Mike. This was a pretty huge moment for the Force family.
Courtney Force getting her first win. Another Force in the winner's circle, and Mom and Dad are happy as well they should be.
Yeah, she beat Chris Dempke, and guess what? Oh, the little dance from Dad. And Courtney joins us here at the tick. That was like, we all know that's a huge moment. But how was Dad after all of that?
Wow, I think he's still in shock about the whole thing. All week he's been calling, leaving me messages. I still can't believe you did that. I can't believe that you got that win. That's such a big deal, and he's been really excited about it. So
he told me he was dragging you all over the place, and you almost missed your appearance on the stage.
Yeah, he did. He's driving me around on the scooter. He's like, I'm gonna go around and show you off. I'm like, oh my gosh, Dad, you're so embarrassing. But he's driving me around, and yeah, I almost missed going up on stage and getting my trophy. So.
Well, can you hang right there for a couple of minutes while we do a few runs? Thanks. I appreciate it. Good to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Well, that little sign, that tells you Roger Brogdon's on the track. He changes it every time he comes out. He goes up against Johnny Gray. Roger is 13th in the points. Doesn't have much of a chance to get in the countdown. Johnny is 11th in the points, 47 out of 10. A nice little race, and we're going to give the win to Johnny Gray. 660 with an 8 at 208 miles an hour.
Let's take a look at Roger Brogdon. I think got a little sideways when he launched that. Look at carry that front end, and boy, yeah, it did. It made a little move towards the wall. He had to correct, and it kind of slid over to the side. And I guarantee you, when he got out of the groove there, he probably lost at least 1 or 2 hundredths of a second, which was about the margin of victory. As you take a look at our Lucas Oil photo finish cam, just by a nose, it's Johnny Gray.
Well, Courtney, since we saw you win, we'll wait for the burnout. Since we saw you win in a dragster, is your future in a dragster?
You know, I really don't know. I don't know. That's a good question for my dad. I know that I have to finish school, and I have about 1.5 years left of that, and then I'll take any ride I can get, really.
So would you drive pro stock then?
I don't know. That's a good question. I really am looking at, like, the funny cars or the dragsters. That's what I got my eye on, but we'll see.
Stat Guy's got a little ad for you.
Well, for Courtney Force, it was the 186 race win for Team Force Racing, the 6th in Top Alcohol Dragster. This is the one I love the best. Melanie Troxel won her first race at Seattle in 1999, drove for Jerry Darian. She went on to a great career in the pros.
Oh, good.
That's cool, isn't it?
Yeah,
Courtney, thanks a lot for spending the time with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Well, Greg Stanfield is up and is alongside of Jeg Coughlin. Stanfield, who has got 6 hole shot wins this season, while Jeg Coughlin, first driver to clinch in the countdown, has no round 1 losses this year.
Jeg Coughlin's been pretty amazing in that first round matches, but he has a tough customer in Greg Stanfield. He knows it. I mean, Greg is one of the best drivers in the business, but I mean, Jeg is probably the best in the business. So anytime when these two come to the starting line, you definitely want to pay attention. Greg Stanfield.
Going to be enough. No.
Wow.
Jeg's back to being the robot. 6:57 with a 9, 209 miles an hour to a losing 6:62 with the 1. But Stanfield did come off the line way ahead of Jeg.
Yeah, Greg had a great reaction time, almost 200 of a second better than Jeg. Jeg was a little bit late for him. I mean, it'd be a good rack time for anybody else. So you got to give credit to Roy Simmons, I think, on this one. Did a great job on the setup on this car to run that 6:57. You take a look at the Lucas Oil photo finish cam. Even though Greg got the advantage off the starting line, it was Jeg Coughlin by about half a car length of the stripe.
There's the intervals. Yeah, you see, here came Greg right off the line, good at 60 feet, and then Jeg just takes over. A reminder of what's coming up as the NHRA completes the Western Swing, the Full Throttle Drag Racing Series. We'll head off in a couple of weeks to Brainerd, Minnesota. That's always a fun event. The zoo, everything going on up there. On Saturday, August 15th, we'll have quals. And then Sunday, August 16th, we'll go racing in Brainerd. That is, if we make it out of the zoo on the overnight visit we traditionally make. Well, Mike Edwards, he's coming up to the line, and we want to compare 96 to 2009, Mike.
96 was his best year ever. We're looking at the whole season versus what he's done up to this point in 2009 with a lot of races left. Look at that round record, 33-11. He has had the race car to beat. He's been in, I don't know how many straight finals coming into this one, but coming off of that win in Seattle where he laid down that 6:55 run, which was just the run of one of the runs of the year, I think. It was pretty much set the stage for what I think everybody's going to be looking for.
You know, Edwards and his awesome horsepower, he's clinched a spot in the countdown. Ricky Jones, his 30th race day start for the kid. And Ricky Jones comes off the line almost twice as fast as Edwards.
Oh, problems for Edwards.
And guess what? That's a Ricky Jones win. Yeah, Edwards faded 661, 208 miles an hour. And Ricky Jones, in his first race at Sonoma, has got himself a win.
Wow, I'll tell you what, there's an upset. Mike Edwards had an amazing 60-foot, a 967, but you saw the thing get sideways. Probably had too much wheel speed, got a little bit out of control there, and obviously either had a problem or shut it off because Ricky Jones, I mean, that gave him a race win or round win, but I'll tell you, Mike Edwards, that was pretty impressive on the launch.
Back in the funny car pits, Tim Wilkerson crew going to work on his machine. They know they have to face their Alliance teammate, Bob Taska III, when they come back to the Fram-Autolite Nationals. Let's do a little history for you at the Fram-Autolite Nationals. 1969, gallon of gas cost 35 cents. First class stamp 6 cents. The Woodstock Music Festival was underway. I think I can remember that. And Jason Line was born. That's right, 40 years ago. Now he's on the line against B. Gaines. D. Gaines goes away, and Jason Line runs a 6.
Nice run.
56 with a 1 track record. Elapsed time, 210 miles an hour. Jason's good this year.
Good. That's an understatement. This car has been, no problem, Paul, but he has been doing a fantastic job, and they just lowered the track record by almost, well, Greg Anderson was #1 with a 6:57.1. He lowers it by 100th of a second, which is a ton in pro stock.
Well, we were talking about his birthday. He's 40, which is the new 15. And what they gave him. Oh, that is so wrong. So wrong. Oh, man. Let's go to Gary Gerald. He has Ricky Jones.
Ricky, we were talking on Friday about the significance of you running here for the first time, but the goal this year as you started the season was to do what?
Just to make the top 10, and so far we're hanging in there. I'm so proud of this Quartermax Chassis and Race Components team and RJ Race Cars, and man, I just can't believe it. Mike Edwards, he's the leader out here right now, and that we just got really lucky there, and they're a great bunch of guys. But I got to thank Fram-Autolite for putting on this race. They help us out, and they're a big part of NHRA, and just want to say thank you to Bailey Logistics too. Thanks.
Let's say this young man is now 3-1 against Mike Edwards, giving Mike something to think about.
And try to find a nicer kid on the circuit than that. Ron Krischer and Larry Morgan are on the line now. Krischer runs Mike Edwards' horsepower, so that gives him a big boost, but he's had 4 red light starts this season. Larry Morgan, well, he has announced, and we've said it before, that he's going to switch over to Ford for 2010. He already has the car now. The last race win for a Pro Stock car, 1995, by Morgan's friend, his buddy Bob Glidden, and that happened at Englishtown.
Larry Morgan, he builds engines for a number of teams and can make some good horsepower, and I'm looking forward to see what he can do with the Ford power plant. I think it'll be good. Ron Krischer, number 4 qualifier, as you said, Mike Edwards horsepower. We saw Mike obviously get beat after having that great 60-foot. Probably just got a little greedy on the launch. We'll see how Ron does right now. Red light. Oh, come on. Missed it by a mile, too.
Yeah, by a whole bunch. That'd be the 5th red light there. Morgan, he gets down the track with a 661 with a 6 at 207 miles an hour. And that gives him the win. Speaking of winning, you all in, ready to push the chips across the table? Well, the all-new World Series of Poker returns to ESPN on Tuesday night. The 2009 World Series presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. So here we go with Pro Stock continuing at the line. Greg Anderson said he needed something to happen. Then it happened. He got number 1 qualifier. Now he faces Ben Watson. Maybe he's back climbing to the top. But look at this. This is what works against him. Hole shot losses.
Yeah, with no hole shot wins. So obviously the problem has been on the starting line. And he's got a 10th on Ben Watson in qualifying. The problem is a lot of times you go up there and you're a little too complacent.
They come dead even off the line. And Greg Anderson continues to have something happen. His wife, Kimmy, the line, sees the 6:59, 210-mile-an-hour win.
Well, I think Greg did what he wanted to do. Went out there and didn't have a great react time, but, you know, a good reaction time, or good enough against Ben Watson for what Ben's been running up to this point. Did not make the kind of run I think he's looking for when his teammate Jason Lyon runs at 6:56. I don't think Greg's going to be happy with a 6:59 at 210, but good enough to get him into the second round.
Well, our next pair will be Alan Johnson. He won a week ago, clinched a spot in the countdown, and Vinny DeSigli. Let's go to Dave Reese.
Down in the pits of Joe Hartley, who got his first round win since St. Louis, and has got the unique opportunity of stopping Antron Brown. And Joe's, we were just talking, how would a story sound years from now saying, hey, you remember back in 2009, Antron Brown won 9 straight rounds, 2 races in a row, until?
Yeah, that'd be great until the Hartley team came up. But we're going to try to do some sweeping of our own this weekend. Hopefully you can sweep up some of these giants here. But I got to say, I'm happy to have LoperSpeed.com and Odyssey Battery on board for us this weekend. So it's great to get another round win. Obviously, it's a big battle for us to get in that 10 spot and see if we can do some work on that this weekend.
Bad news, good news, 0-3 against Antron, but the good news is that's got to change sometime.
Yeah, but look out if you see Grandma coming. She'll get a hold of that earlobe and start squeezing it. Alan Johnson and Vinny DeSigli. It's good to see Vinny back. Glad his wife's doing better. There goes Alan Johnson, 6:57 with a 7, 209 miles an hour. It's a losing 6:62 with a 4 for Vinny. Well, let's take a look at the Lucas Oil ladder for Pro Stock. We moved through a great day here. Greg Anderson and Kurt Johnson. That's great. Larry Morgan faces a very hot Ricky Jones.
And low ET of the meet, Jason Lyon going to go up against Johnny Gray in a good matchup. Alan Johnson and Jed Coughlin. Alan's going to have the lane choice.
And that's all when we go to round 2 of Pro Stock the Automobiles here at Infineon Raceway in California. Well, Tony Pedregon is feeling pretty good about the way things are going today because Ashley Force Hood has already been knocked out, and that's going to help his position.
I'm going to win, 'cause this girl don't like to lose.
And we welcome you back. Yeah, those are the Pro Stock motorcycles coming up, part of the Full Throttle Drag Racing Series, the Fram-Autolite Nationals from beautiful Infineon. Here is the Pro Stock motorcycle ladder presented by Lucas Oil. Karen Stouffer and Mike Phillips. Karen leads Mike for 10th by just 3 rounds. And you know what? 7 different races here at this track, 7 different winners, Pro Stock motorcycles.
Left side of the ladder, I'm looking at Andrew Hines and Katie Sullivan, local favorite. Katie's trying to take down the big guy.
Matt Gadara, the defending champ, and Sean Gann. And Gann breaks right on the line. Gadara goes down. We'll see what the numbers are because they're important for second round. A 7:01 with a 2, 187 miles an hour. Gives us a little idea of what the track will do for Pro Stock motorcycles.
See, there was a mistake by Sean Gann. Even if his bike was broke, all he had to do was push in and stage the car. And if Matt would have red lighted, he'd have got the win. He needs to be thinking better on that motorcycle.
Wow, there's a race driver in you coming out. Love it. Now we got a little time off for the Full Throttle Drag Racing Series. And then it's the Lucas Oil Nationals, beautiful Brainerd, Minnesota, Saturday, August 15th. The qualifying Sunday, August 16th. All of our coverage into the finals. So the next pair in Pro Stock motorcycle. On the line, Craig Treble and Jim Underdahl. And another red light.
By Treble by a bunch.
And that counts as an upset there because everybody's expecting Treble to do some good stuff. He ran a 7:11 with an 8. Nice for Underdahl. A 7:10 with a 6. A first round win for him. That's great. Oh!
Hey, I don't want to make a habit of it.
Who's that?
Who left the door open? Well, he lives just down the way, just down the highway. Gary Selsey, when's he coming back? Here is Hector Arana and Dave Hope. Dave's been very quick from time to time.
He's got a big advantage off the starting line.
He does.
Not enough.
No. Hector Arana, 690 with a 6, 195 miles an hour, low elapsed time of the race. Wow, Hope started out looking so great, and then Hector just,
yeah, you're running a 690. How about that? I mean, David Hope, huge advantage off the starting line, ran 0.2 of a second slower, but only lost by 0.04 of a second at the finish.
So Hector, 7th fastest speed Pro Stock motorcycle history. Junior Pippin, he's right there. That's Eddie Krawick over on the other side. Wow. Now Junior just has a bunch of problems. Eddie Krawick, the #1 qualifier, easily with the failure of Junior Pippin, but he runs a 690 with a 9, 191 miles an hour. Hey, you talk about a celebration after his run. Here's Hector.
90 flat.
That's a happy guy. I heard you doing that in the hotel last night, didn't you, Mike?
He wouldn't have been happy if he had lost with that elapsed time, though.
And how about Steve Johnson? His mom is here watching. He grew up in this area, doesn't live here anymore. Is he good enough to handle up the rookie Doug Horn? Not today. 697 with a 692 miles an hour. His sister Jessica's on the phone already reporting that out to the news media.
Hold on, Jessica. I'll get right back with you. I'm trying to do a show right now.
You were talking to her?
Oh, was this on? Oh, man. I'm in trouble.
Well, here's Andrew Hines and Katie Sullivan. We love Katie. What a good story she is. Just graduated out of high school, 18 years old. Yeah, but she fails coming off the line. Andrew Hines takes her all the way through. Andrew runs the 690 with a 693 miles an hour. Hey, you know how they give athletes, celebrities a chance to throw out the first pitch, and normally, you know, you'll see them put it in the dirt, hit somebody in the grandstand. How about Karen Stouffer right down the middle, throws a strike, and just puts the rest of us to shame. Karen Stouffer on the track now, trying to put Michael Phillips to shame. But Phillips has got some power there, takes the win, 697 with, look at the hole shot. I mean, that was enormous.
Karen Stouffer was just dead late off of the starting line, and it cost her big time.
I think she's so afraid of red lighting that now she's gone the other way.
Well, and it can happen pretty easily in pro stock motorcycle, but definitely way complacent. Now, 0.12 of a second advantage Michael Phillips had over Karen. And even though Karen runs a great 691 elapsed time, she is going home.
And look at that celebration. That's because that's a career best run for Mike Phillips. That's nice. And a reminder, as long as we're talking about baseball, catch Monday Night Baseball presented by Holiday Inn at 7 Eastern. Two of the best hitters in the game will take the field, and then two red-hot teams in the American League East battle on ESPN's Wednesday Night Baseball, presented by Smirnoff Ice. ESPN News will be shown in New York and in the Tampa markets. Well, this pair will wrap up Pro Stock Motorcycle. Matt Smith, Bailey Whitaker. Bailey Whitaker, you're supposed to wait for the green thing.
He only missed it by 1,000th of a second.
Matt Smith is going to take that win. He's got a nice new refresh motor, and did it put out for him. 688 with a 793 miles an hour. Angie McBride, his fiance, they're going to get married in October, and she's doing all the arrangements now. But wow, he's back. Matt's back. And the Pro Stock Motorcycle Ladder presented by Lucas Oil, Eddie Krawick and Matt Gadara. It's going to be a nice little matchup for you there.
Good matchups on the other side, including Andrew Hines and Hector Reno. They both went 690, but Hector was just a few thousandths quicker, and as a result, he's going to have that lane choice over Andrew.
You know what? We have a super event underway here at Infineon Raceway, and we're seeing a lot of emotion come out of everybody. Antron Brown, he's still sweeping. Yeah. Everybody. Joe Hartley's happy. Well, he should be. All these guys should be happy. We're at the end of the 3-week travel that is the Western Swing in Infineon Raceway. Called Nail the Tree, and we're doing it today. The NHRA Full Throttle Drag Racing Series, the Fram-Autolite Nationals. What? Wait, this is wrong. That's Selzy in the cockpit.
I know how he feels. Whatever.
There is no respect. You know, if he'd come back, it'd be kind of cool. You know, that would be a good thing. Get his own little car. The 2009 Full Throttle Drag Racing Series, the upcoming schedule, Lucas Oil Nationals are going to come out of Brainerd, Minnesota, and then the Toyo Tools Nationals. That's Reading, Pennsylvania. Always beautiful there. And then we roll into Indianapolis for the Mac Tools U.S. Nationals. You know, you're almost not going to be able to turn your TV on without seeing us. Over 10 hours of coverage that weekend. Top Fuel ladder for the second round. J.R. Todd and Tony Schumacher, but Antron Brown, he could be surprised by Joe Hartley throwing his sweep.
Yeah, the other side of the ladder, we got the matchup on the line right now. Corey McClenathan and Clay Milliken.
Whoa, where's it going? It's going to Corey. Corey, a 4:32 with a 3. He won his 450th round of racing today in the first round down the track. Now he's up to 4:51.
Our owner Don Schumacher likes what he sees. Got a little bit of a pedal fest. You're going to see Clay on the right side spin the tires just a little bit before Corey did. I think that was the difference. Right side, Corey's going to make it about the 330 before he starts spinning the tires. Then he backpedals, does a good job of catching it, and just blazes the tires all the way to the other end to get the win. One more look. Had good numbers to the 330 at 219. So just before that, I believe he started spinning. Sure enough, pedals it, and it hooked up a little bit and then started hazing the tires. At that point, it's just better for the driver to just leg it as long as he's ahead. And that's exactly what Corey did.
Yeah, good for Corey, who now turns from driver to teacher. It's time for our price of performance. It's a Napa track fact, and we send you earlier to Dave Reef and Corey.
Good luck finding the oil filter on a top fuel car. Fortunately, in my passenger car, all you got to do is lift the hood, and it's in that owner's manual in that passenger car. It recommends you change that oil filter about every 3,000 miles. Now, Corey, you've been driving top fuel cars for 19 years. You might have driven 3,000 miles. How many times have you changed your filter?
Every single run.
Really?
Let me tell you why. On a regular oil filter,
passenger car,
oil goes in through the smaller holes, through the elements, back through here, and then obviously back out the big hole into your regular passenger car. Now, our top fuel car, different element altogether. We change it every single pass, but bigger volume. We have to run 2 quarts per second through this big filter back into this big giant motor behind you.
And that helps us in our passenger car application as well?
Definitely. The more R&D we can do on the racetrack, the better your passenger filter is going to be on the street.
Believe it or not, that same application applies when it comes to the spark plug. I can't even tell you the last time I've changed the spark plug. That's because guys like Corey Mack run 2,400 of these over the course of just one season.
Well, here comes Antron Brown and Joe Hartley. Antron's 3-0 racing Hartley. Let's see what he pulls now, because Hartley can pull something out of the bag.
Definitely a different racetrack than it was in the first round, which normally is. You take a look at Antron Brown in his first 38 races in pro stock motorcycle against top fuel. He's actually done a lot better job in top fuel. Let me tell you, he was a good pro stock motorcycle rider.
And you heard earlier how nervous he has been coming into this. Even Ron Cabb says he's a little nervous.
Yeah, but we're all nervous before the engine starts, and that's normal. The key is once the engine starts, that all goes away. If it doesn't, then you're in trouble.
Well, so he should be at this moment calmed down. They are pre-stage.
Focusing on doing his job.
And dodged a bullet with that one. Brown runs a 4:14 with a 7 at 260. Hartley was coming, and they both had a little trouble. But the swing continues on for Antron Brown.
Joe Hartley and Antron Brown had identical times to the 330-foot mark, but Antron had the advantage off the starting line, so he was ahead at that point. It looks like Hartley started to spin the tires first, but shortly after that, Antron did, not quite as hard, and he legs it to the other end, gets into the round number 3 semifinal.
Well, as Antron Brown has notched another one in his belt and looks ahead to the semifinals, let's take you back to 1991 and the swing.
Joe Amato, the first one to sweep the swing, won all 3 races. His crew chief at the time was the great Tim Richards.
Yeah, and speaking of Tim Richards, he is on the phone with us. Tim, good to hear from you.
I got Tron.
How's that retiring working out for you? We want you back.
It seems like I'm working harder now than I was when I was working there. I don't know.
What are you doing?
Well, right now I'm cleaning out my garage.
Well, that could be another 3 or 4 years, couldn't it?
Yeah, it could be.
Hey, how hard is it to sweep the swing?
Well, it's very difficult because, you know, you have to always approach it as every you're just trying to win round by round. But the problem is that there's such a distance in between all the races that the crews really get worn out just driving around. And then, of course, if you do well at Denver, where you have to turn your car inside out, you get to do a lot more work at Seattle, and it just goes on. The better you do, the more work you have to do, and it really is a problem, you know, having everybody keep their focus on what we're trying to do here, you know?
Yeah. Hold on a second. We'll get another pair down the track. It's Morgan Lucas and Mike Strasburg. Mike's looking to go to his first semi. For Morgan, his 201st round of racing.
Jimmy Walsh, crew chief for Morgan Lucas, is Tim Richards' protege. Worked under him for a number of years, and you work under Tim Richards, you learn from the best. And I'll tell you, had a very good run in that first round, Morgan Lucas did. Oh, smoked the tires.
Well, guess what? We've had another upset as Mike Strasburg is going to go into his first semifinal on the strength of a 411 with an 243 miles an hour.
Yeah, Jimmy's obviously disappointed in that. Morgan had a good advantage off of the starting line. Looks like it made it through the shake zone, I think, or it was right on the edge of it. And then, yeah, right at the end of the shake zone. Might have been right at the point they started to apply the horsepower. It just drove right up into the tire smoke, and that ended Morgan's day.
Well, you wanted to talk to Tim, too. I was hogging it.
Well, yeah, Tim, because, you know, my producer keeps threatening to put Wade Bazemore in the booth if I keep mouthing off too much. So I was wondering when I get my own team together if I can bring you out of retirement.
Well, Wiz probably tied up with the bike races this past 3 weeks, and I've sort of been tied up. I haven't been able to do anything until the bike race is over in the morning. So I can understand his position.
So my job might be safe, you're saying?
Okay. Yeah, I would think so.
Well, how about, I mean, I hope you've been watching the races. How about Antron Brown? That car's looked pretty impressive this year, and what do you think of it?
Yeah, I had a good feeling about Antron when he came over from the bikes. I thought anybody can run those bikes like that. They could be a very good driver in a top fuel car. He has definitely proved to be a natural driver. There's no question about it.
Well, hey, Tim, thanks for spending the time with us. Tell Kim hi. We missed the Tim and Kim show.
Okay, I will tell her.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Tim. And Lewis says hi.
And let's go to Gary Gerald.
Bye.
With Mike Strasburg, first it was Larry Dixon, now it's Morgan Lucas, and you're going to your first ever semifinal. What's that feel like, Mike?
Boy, that's pretty nice, you know, to get the red line oil car into the next round there. And for Jim, Dirk, Knowles, all the Why Not Racing guys, best crew in the business. I can't say enough about it.
And this is the first opportunity for this crew, and I see that blower belt's chewed up, got a little damage back here to deal with. They're not used to having to go these types of rounds. Are they up to it?
No, that's the thing. I think we're up to it. I think they're plenty good. We just haven't had enough chance, but with Tony Shortall here with us now, hopefully you're going to see more of us.
Good stuff. Keep it going.
Thank you.
This matchup is really big. It involves J.R. Todd, #1 qualifier in his third race of this season, against Tony Schumacher. It is big because the winner of this will face Antron Brown, who continues to move forward, trying to find a way to sweep the swing.
And it's big because you have two good cars on the starting line. The Sarge here with Mike Green as his crew chief, they've made every pass down the racetrack. They've ran every run in the 3-second range. We have yet to see that in the second round because of the condition. Now, I guarantee you they backed her down considerably from their first round 387 against J.R. Todd, but they know they can't back it down too much because J.R.'s been running well.
Well, exactly. All you got to do is go back last season and remember the Schumacher knocking everybody down run? Well, J.R. Todd got him.
Got him again.
And he's going to get him again. Yeah! J.R. Todd, 399 with a 5. Wow, Mario is dead. So happy with that. They should be. Tony Schumacher found some problems mid-track. J.R. Todd looked like he did too, but he kept it in there.
That was a big win for that team. J.R. Todd had Cylinder go out and push it over toward the center line, but it might have saved it. Didn't spin the tires. The only car to run under 4 seconds. J.R. Todd runs a 399. Remember, it was Dallas, the race you were talking about, that stopped the big streak of Tony Schumacher when J.R. Todd did on a hole shot. Didn't need the hole shot this time, just had the better car and gets him into the semifinals for it.
You know, most of these guys, you think when they come to the line and look over and see Tony Schumacher, they think, oh, wow. Not J.R. Todd. J.R. Todd's going to have the lane choice when he faces Antron Brown.
That was a skitty job of driving there.
And Mike Strasburg, you just heard him. He's so happy. And he's going to have a lane choice when he goes up against Corey McLenithan.
I got JR.
Well, guess what? We're going to funny car. More nitro. Caps finally got into the seat, threw Selzy out. I think he's got him handcuffed. over against the wall now. Ed the Ace gets that thing started. It's purring nice. 8,000 horsepower, ready to go at Infineon Raceway. Funny car coming. Well, we're back at Infineon. Gary Scelzi. What is he doing? Going to all of his former crew chiefs and saying, hey, let me in the car? Mike Neff, not real happy with that.
He's almost like my brother. I feel like we're connected at the hip doing the same thing. You know, the only difference is if I just need four more championships, I think, and I'd be just like Gary Scelzi.
Well, here's the Lucas Oil Funny Car ladder. Cruz Pedregon, Gary Densham, but Tim Wilkerson will face his alliance partner, Bob Tasca.
Big matchups on the other side, Neff and Pedregon, and look at that, Ron Capps and Robert Height.
And number one out of the box for us will be the Tasca-Wilkerson matchup.
Good race.
Oh, those cars are nice and even. Tim Wilkerson wins it, 423 to a losing 423 with a 6. Win last week, on his way perhaps to another one, Tim Wilkerson.
This was just a good old drag race here. Pretty much dead even. Tim Wilkerson had a slight advantage, 0.04 of a second. It was 0.06 of a second at the stripe. You're going to take a look at. They're pretty much folded side by side the entire length of the racetrack. Take a look at the stripe. It is Tim Wilkerson just by a nose.
Well, round the bases with ESPN for 2 nights of Major League Baseball action on Monday night. Catch baseball presented by Holiday Inn at 7 as the Los Angeles Dodgers face the Cardinals. And then on Wednesday, 2 red-hot teams in the East. Battle on Wednesday night baseball presented by Smirnoff Ice. ESPN News will be showing in New York and Tampa markets. Well, we continue with the funny cars. Now it's Gary Densham and this guy, Cruz Pedregon. But Densham, in his own car, he seems to be a guy to contend with. Boy, we are seeing some results here. You would have thought that was Cruz Pedregon's all the way. You know Densham is powerful. Cruz fades, Densham wins 439 at 252 miles an hour.
See Gary's burst panel blown off the front of that body. That was caused more than likely from a supercharger backfire down track. Cruz got all kinds of sideways there. So you take a look at this. Cruz was pretty much actually had the advantage off the starting line, was even ahead at 330-foot mark. But look at that thing really starts to make a little move. He corrects, and then it's going to spin the tires, and it just makes a move over towards the center. And Cruz knows he has to get out of it. Let's go on board and listen to what the engine does. You heard the engine start to pull down when the clutch came in, and then the tires broke loose, and the engine went up.
Mike Dunn, you got some good ears there. John Forrest, Gary Densham's former boss. He seems happy today. Back to the line. And coming up, it's Tony Pedregon and Mike Neff. Let's look at the points. Ashley has now dropped to 3rd place. Tony Pedregon, of course, coming up. So this could be huge for Tony Pedregon if he can keep marching forward.
Paul and Mike, we've looked at track conditions here, and we've seen that the ETs have fallen off just a little bit. The track temperature and the sun concerns of earlier are starting to become merited now. It's only about 10 degrees warmer, but the air is so good here being near sea level. It's not just getting the tires to adapt to the racetrack, it's also making sure that your engine's not too far over center. So a lot of guys have really dialed the engine back as these track temperatures do start to get in to that tricky area.
Mike Neff, you saw him. He had the low ET of the first round, Mike. Well, that's exactly what Tony Pedregon needed to do. He runs a 420 with a 288 miles an hour. Not smiling quite as much at John Force Racing.
Now, Tony Pedregon and Dickie Venables didn't care that Mike Neff had low ET the first round. That was a very nice run. And Mike Neff, I mean, give him credit, was not a bad run. But Tony Pedregon, when he gets dialed in, that team, watch out.
Well, the next matchup coming is huge. It's Robert Height, the last John Force car left in competition, and Ron Capps, #1 in the points. Robert Height could do his teammate, and for that matter, Tony Pedregon, a lot of good. if he could take down Ron Capps. But Robert Hight also needs to do well himself.
That's right, to try to get into that top 10 and keep his chances alive for that countdown to 1. It's what he's mostly concerned with. Ron Capps, though, did not have the lane choice. Remember, he just got by Robert's teammate Ashley in the first round when had a cylinder out, ran a 427, but luckily for him, Ashley smoked the tires. Robert seems to be getting on track, but the problem they've been having is going back-to-back runs, and that's what Robert needs right now.
And he's going to do it. They both had their problems. Listening for the radio. Good job, Robert. That's all we heard, and it was.
Absolutely it was.
4.62 with a 7 at 242 miles an hour. That really helps Ashley.
It wasn't back-to-back numbers that we were looking for, or Robert was looking for, but it was good enough to get the win. Robert had a big advantage off the starting line, a good reaction time, spins the tires, he backpedals it, it recovers and started hazing the tires, then the engine went flat, but it was good enough because in the other lane, Ron Capps was having big-time problems there in the shake zone, did not get through it, smoked his tires, tried to pellet, it did not recover, gave it one more time and said, you know what, I'm done.
See that?
Dave Reef has John Force.
He's talking to his daughter Ashley right now. She's back in the game. You're back in the game. Everybody's getting some good benefit out of this today.
I ain't back in the game. I suck totally.
Not true.
So amazing, the millions of dollars that are pumped into these programs to win. I can't win, and Ashley, her car's been winning, but struggled today first round. But then it jumps around. I'm left with Mike Neff. He's struggling. Robert Hight, and all of a sudden it comes together. But my other team player that nobody knows, Gary Dencham, not really, just the best of friend that we've grown up together. I said, after you embarrass me, Dencham, and beat me up, at least go out there and do some damage and help me in the points. And he got around Cruz. That probably left me in the top 10. So who would have thunk it?
Life is good.
And they're all thinking about those points as well as how they're doing here. Here are the funny car points now. 3 have clinched, Capps, Pedregon, and Ashley Force Hood. But take a look at Robert Hight. That's the key. He's trying to get up there above that yellow line. Semifinal matchups then for Funny Car, and they come up this way. Gary Dencham will face Tim Wilkerson. Tim Wilkerson will have the lane choice. And the other side of that, Tony Pedregon with lane choice over that man, Robert Hight. And you know what? When we come back, I'll try to have a little conversation with Robert.
On this magnificent day in Northern California, NHRA Full Throttle Drag Racing will be continuing with Pro Stock second round action coming up in a moment here at Sonoma. Right now, we've got Robert Hight at the top end, and you are now 1 round victory away from cracking the top 10. And you've been chasing and chasing and chasing. What's it feeling like right now?
Oh, it's unbelievable, Gary. You know, we definitely need to make this count today because we're running out of races. But John Force told me something this morning, and he said, don't ever forget about your team. Don't ever not believe in them. Sorry, I can't even talk. He says, keep believing in them. But trust me, I've never quit believing in my team. And I know Jimmy Proc's doing a great job, but also the Auto Club and Ford, they have never quit believing in us. And they know that we can perform, and that's what we're going to do today. And thank them.
This team is fired up.
And they should be. Pro Stock, they're on the line right now. Larry Morgan and Ricky Jones.
The kid can get around the veteran here. The kid being Ricky Jones. Larry Morgan's been down the racetrack just about as many times as anybody out there.
That was nice. Right. Ricky Jones, 667, 208 miles an hour.
Does it on a whole shot.
Yeah, and Larry Morgan has not been to a semifinal this year. That was another shot at it. Couldn't do it. Ricky Jones has the win.
Take a look at the finish line. 66 ten-thousandths of a second. Just by a nose, Ricky Jones gets the win.
Well, and not to twist the knife, but coming up, our next pair, Jason Line, who turned 40 this week, but he did reset the track record in round 1. He faces Johnny Gray. Here is the ladder as we look to this round. Greg Anderson and Kurt Johnson. That is always a stout matchup. Larry Morgan, Ricky Jones, you know the result there.
The other side, I'm paying attention to that matchup between Alan Johnson and Jeg Coughlin, 2 powerhouses.
Dave Reed.
Yeah, Greg Anderson, seeing what Ricky Jones just did, decided to come out of the right lane, move over in the left lane. So there's been a lane change.
That's interesting. another good run down the track. The win this time is the 6:59 with a 3 by Greg Anderson, 210 miles an hour.
On board with Greg Anderson. This is what he needs to do. Didn't have a great reaction time. He'll go back and look, say, I'm going to have to start pushing a little bit more. He was 0.43 on the light, but had a good 60-foot time and makes a good run of 6:59 at 210 miles per hour to get him in the semis.
Well, things are happening for Greg Anderson. Exactly what he wanted to happen. Jeg Coughlin and Alan Johnson come to the line now. Jeg, he's just been the robot. Already won 2 more races this year than he did all of last year. And Alan Johnson, hey, he's really been powerful lately.
And Mopar's been making a whole lot of horsepower coming off that win in Denver. Looked good in Seattle, but came up a little bit short. Jeg Coughlin, like we've been talking about, he hasn't had the best car, I don't think, at all at any of the races as far as performance, but he's always been right there.
Jeg, it's all yours.
And with Jeggy's driving, he's been able to just keep getting those round wins and turns them into race wins. Jeg, 200s.
6:59 with a 2, 2:09:59. Good job.
6:59 with a 2. You heard it.
Felt like it would have turned the tires a little bit.
What'd you hear there, Mike?
I thought he said chirp the tires or rattle the tires a little bit. Take a look at it. Carries the front end pretty good. Probably a little bit more than what they would normally like. They try to get the balance just right. But I didn't see a whole lot of rattle in there. It, you know, once Jeg straightened it up, started running through the gear, that thing looks like it was stuck right down the middle. And I tell you, 6:59 in the heat right now, it's not a bad pass.
Let's go to the top end and Gary Gerald. Woo, little ballet work there.
Greg Anderson has had great success at this racetrack, having won here 3 times. He won from the #1 position a couple of years ago. I know it's been a struggle this season. We've talked about it, a sense of desperation that you're fighting. Where do you stand right now, having won a couple of sessions today?
Well, right now, I'm pleasantly surprised, happy. It's amazing. My win light's been coming on. Maybe cards are starting to turn for me, Gary. I guess I'm down to the point where I just need luck, because apparently I'm trying too hard and I'm not earning anything, and just a little bit off here and there. So I guess luck's going to be on my side today. That's the way I'm going to win this race. I need to thank the good Lord up above. He comes through for me. I need it bad, but I'm going to stop worrying about it. Have fun, go race, have fun.
Dave? And if things go the way Greg Anderson wants, he'll have an all-summit final as Jason Line comes up in the right lane, set to take on Johnny Gray over on the left. We saw that lane change that Greg went over and ran the left. That's the benefit of one of these 2-car teams. Now Jason Line, who went low ET in the first session, is over there in that right lane. This is a 2-car team. He gets a look at both the lanes.
Johnny Gray, no semis this season. Is he on his way into one? Jason Line, the only KB car to win this season. Both took their time off the line, didn't they?
Yeah, slight advantage to Jason.
And Jason takes it down, wins it with a 660 with a 5 to a losing 663 with a 7. That guy, you've been watching that whole KB racing operation.
You better believe it. This is a stat that Team KB would love. When they qualify in the top 2 spots, they win the event 73% of the time. That is simply amazing.
So you're looking back and see Greg Anderson as #1 qualifier. You bet. Semifinal matchups now for Pro Stock. Greg Anderson will have lane choice when he faces the young Ricky Jones. And Jason Line faces Jeg Coughlin. Jeg Coughlin's going to have that lane choice.
Car went 660.
Well, you know, we've been watching the entire day the amazing performance of Mike Strasburg. They're back in his pits right now, working away. He faces Corey McLenathan when he comes out. He tries to get into the finals. And Antron Brown, wow, he's close. Just 2 more races to go. He's got to take down J.R. Todd and then win the race. And there's Jessica Horn watching her brother. A few photographs. Yeah, Pro Stock Motorcycles next. Oh, as promised, Pro Stock Motorcycle on the line. The NHRA Full Throttle Drag Racing Series Fram-Autolite Nationals from Infineon Raceway. Doug Horn and Michael Phillips.
Doug got the advantage off the starting line.
Oh, and
Michael
Phillips got some problem.
Yeah.
The whole thing goes. It's a 7:03 with an 8 for Doug Horn, and he takes the wins to make sure Phillips can get that thing stopped. Yeah, he's going to be okay.
Right-hand side, it was pretty much side by side as far as the numbers go for Michael Phillips and Doug Horn, but then you're going to see just before the finish line, past the 1,000-foot mark, that engine lets go big time. You don't see that happen too often on the Pro Stock motorcycles. I mean, not that they don't blow up, but that was a considerable amount of smoke when that engine let go, and obviously that cost him the round.
And I was talking to Michael Phillips on Friday, and they had a bunch of new parts. Really were pretty excited about that motor. Al, are you ready to just push all those chips across the table? Are you all in? The 2009 World Series of Poker presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky on ESPN. All new Tuesdays at 8 and 9 Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Eddie Krawick, the #1 qualifier, faces that guy right there, Matt Guidera.
Matt Guidera, the defending champion, this hometown racetrack, would love nothing better than to go back-to-back. But boy, he's got a tough customer in that Eddie Krawick in the left lane. A big hole shot, though.
Yeah, rocking off the line. Is it good enough to take the Harley? Nah, I'm not thinking. A 6.96 with a 190 miles an hour for Krawick. Well, guess who we have here? Yeah, he's everywhere. Gary Scelzi. What are you doing up in the high dollar seats, guy?
Well, I guess it's just who you know. And the people here at Infineon, they've always taken care of me, and this has been one of my home tracks. So it's great to be back and watch these guys.
Can you stick with us for a little bit?
I sure can.
We've got questions. All right. Back down on the track, here is Hector Arana and Andrew Hines.
Hector gets a lane choice by virtue of a 690 with the 6. They ran identical in the previous round, but Hector got it because of the faster speed, so it gives him lane choice. Everybody in Pro Stock motorcycle, unlike the fuel cars, with lane choice, has been taking the left-hand lane.
Hector 195.5 miles an hour.
That was a big speed. Oh, and he goes red.
Man alive. 6th time this year. Hector turns on the red light. Andrew Hines runs a 6.93 and takes the win. So Gary Scelzi, what's going on? Are we going to see you in a car? Everybody misses you.
You know what? It's really been fun out here. The fans, they still, actually, a couple of them know who I am. I talked to Don Schumacher and talked to John Force and went and sat in Mike Neff's car and Ron Kapp's car, and they both lost, so it's probably not a good thing for me to sit in anybody else's cars. Well, I really miss it, you guys. This is the first race I've really been back to, and I miss sitting in the seat.
Well, we miss you because somebody this week told me Gary Scelzi says he's not going to show up at Sonoma, and I said, yeah, he also said he was never going to retire. How many times did that happen? So I knew you were going to be here. So, I mean, what have you been doing? Racing with Dominic and Giovanni or what?
Yeah, you know, Austin Prock came and spent 4 or 5 days with us up in Fresno and watched the kids race, and for the 6th time, both boys won on the same night. That was exciting, and Austin was there to enjoy it. And, you know, those two little boys grew up together, and you know, a friend of mine, John Lawson, who's actually sponsoring Gary Densham, came up, and so we came up with him this morning. I miss it, Mike. But you know what? I need to be at home at Scelzi Enterprises. I need to be with the boys right now. But I got to tell you, I can't say I'm not thinking about coming back.
Stay with us, guy. Here's Matt Smith and Jim Underdahl. Underdahl is looking pretty good. Not good enough to take out Matt Smith, who runs a 698 with a 189 miles an hour. But he gave him a bit of a run. Nice going, Matt Smith. Hey, Gary Scelzi, we hope to see you down the road sometime soon. Thanks for joining us.
I hope so. Thanks for having me, you guys.
You got it. Gary Scelzi, we're hoping to see him in a car, maybe on a motorcycle. There'd be an idea. Let's take a look at the matchups as we go to the semifinals. Eddie Krawiec having lane choice when he faces the rookie Doug Horn. And Matt Smith, Andrew Hines will face one another. Boy, the Harleys are there again. Andrew Hines will have the lane choice. You know what's coming up? Well, we're still tracking Antron Brown, because if Antron Brown is going to sweep the swing, win all 3 races, he's got to go through that man, J.R. Todd. And that's no easy feat. So stay with us.
Good job, guys.
Oh, there have been some great moments here at Infineon. Let's go back.
How about 2006? Cruz Pedregon with this huge fire as he brings the car to a stop. Escapes out of that roof hatch unharmed.
2005, Greg Anderson gets his 35th Wally. That ties him with Don Garlitz.
Then 1997, Eddie Hill in qualifying. The car comes apart in the lights, and he just goes for a ride. But luckily, Eddie was A-OK.
In 1991, on his way to sweeping the swing, it was Joe Amato taking the victory here at Infineon. And so let's look at how it is set up as we go to the semifinals. J.R. Todd, Antron Brown, and Mike Strasburg and Corey McLenithan, who swept in 97. So here on the line right now, Mike Strasburg's having a great day, and Corey McLenithan. Last final round here was in 1997 when he swept. And give that one to Corey. 397 with a 2, 298, a 402 with a 1. The loser for Mike Strasburg. But he got a long way. Should feel good about the day.
Absolutely. And that was a good old drag race right there. Corey McLenithan doesn't get any better going into the finals at your sponsor's race. Corey McLenithan was slightly behind off of the starting line by not quite 200ths of a second. Luckily for him, he was able to run a 397, which is a very good run in the heat. Mike Strasburg not too far behind with a 402 elapsed time.
That's what it looks from the high dollar seats. That's pretty nice. Look at that finish, though. Corey Mack just about half a car length ahead of Mike Strasburg. Let's go to the line. J.R. Todd, Antron Brown. This is the big moment. And Gary Gerould has Doug Horn.
Doug Horn, you find yourself in a situation now going against Eddie Krawiec, who's been on such a roll in recent events this season. You've got to make up 6, 7, 800ths. Are you capable of doing that? And is this machine capable of that?
Yes, Gary. This Dragstar Buell is capable of doing anything. This weekend in Sonoma, we were having an awesome weekend. We kept the momentum through Denver, and Eddie Krawiec on that Vance and Hines Screaming Eagle Harley. We'll just see what we got for him next round. It'll be a good race.
Look forward to it. Thanks.
Oh, this matchup is huge. Just this round in the championship stand in the way of history for Antron Brown. While that guy, J.R. Todd, only his 3rd race of the season, and he might stop the sweep and go to his first final round.
Boy, JR's making the most of just 3 races this year. This kid's a natural. We've said it from day one watching him. He just goes out there and knows what to do, and he just does it pretty much every time. Antron does definitely have his work cut out for him. Wins by lane pretty even. J.R. Todd has the lane choice. He's chosen the left-hand lane. Most everybody was choosing the right, but like I said, I don't think there's a whole lot of difference.
Oh. Yeah, despite Hazen-Nose tires, smoke just pouring off of there. Antron Brown is now only 1,000 feet away from sweeping the swing.
That was a great shot on that on board, because that's what a driver does. When you start spinning the tires, you're trying to get it to recover, and you're just hoping the driver in the other lane doesn't come by. And I kept waiting to see. We knew you could see that JR was in trouble early too, or hear it, and but you could still, as a driver, you're going, okay, don't pass me, don't pass me. And for Antron, he got a lucky break there and gets into the final round. Picks the front end up, goes down through there, smokes the tires right in the shake zone. He does a pretty good job of catching it quick. Probably should have let it settle down a little bit more, but it looks like it pretty much dried out because it basically put 2 or 3 cylinders out, didn't have a whole lot of horsepower, and as a result, he's going into the final.
There's Mario Todd, JR's dad now. He did his best. So the matchup for the final finds Antron Brown going against Corey McClenathan, who swept the swing. Antron Brown is trying to do just exactly that. Can he? Well, we'll talk to him in just a moment.
How do you want to talk sweep?
The Full Throttle Drag Racing Series, it's the Fram-Autolite Nationals. And Dave Reed caught up a little earlier with Tim Wilkerson.
Tim Wilkerson back to a semifinal here at Sonoma. And Tim, correct me if I'm wrong, all 6 of those races, boy, side by side. But that says to me, as you're getting a pretty good handle on your car.
Well, I think we got a good handle on our car, no doubt about that. But boy, the competition is tough. And here we got Gary Densham. I think whoever ends up 10th in the countdown needs to call Gary Densham and thank him for not racing all year long. I can tell you that right now, because that guy's badass. And it's just a tough deal out here. There's no doubt about it. Levi Ray and Shout, boy, they're behind our car all the way. And, you know, Valvoline, Mac Tools, Summit, all the people that make us go. Really want to thank all those folks. But yeah, it's been tough racing, no doubt about that. And I don't think it's going to get any easier racing Gary, or if we get past Gary, whoever we got in the finals.
And let's not forget about Wilkes Warriors back in Illinois.
Wilkerson and Gary Densham on the line. Just steadily pulled away. Tim Wilkerson, a 420 with a 4, takes the win, goes to the final, 296 miles an hour.
Well, I'll say Tim Wilkerson's got a handle on that race car.
Yeah.
Man, that thing just keeps going down the racetrack no matter what the conditions. Tim had the advantage off of the starting line. They were pretty even in the lap time to about 330-foot mark, and then that was all she wrote. It looked like Gary might have had some problems there, but I'll tell you, Tim Wilkerson, that car, that thing is stout.
Coming up next, well, first take a look at Tim Wilkerson's. He fired up about this? Wow, the man from Illinois feeling good. Team Force versus Team Pedregon. That's what's coming to the line. Robert Height and Tony Pedregon. So let's look at the points, because this has a real effect. If Pedregon can win, he takes over the points lead. If Height can win, he moves into the top 10. Critical for both.
Absolutely, and 2 cars that are running pretty well. Tony's been running, you know, pretty good all year long. He's had a couple of missteps, but you can never count him out. Ran a 420 in the previous round. Lane choice, we're talking about. Tony's taking the left lane. Wilkerson liked the right lane. They took that lane. And like I said, I don't think there's really a big difference.
Well, Robert Height won here last year over Gary Densham. Tony Pedregon has never won at Sonoma.
Crew chiefs make the final adjustment. Jimmy Prock and Dickie Venables before they send their drivers into battle. Robert.
Where was Robert? Not that it mattered, but where was Robert? A 430. That's for Tony Pedregon. He moves to the points lead, 269 miles an hour.
We'll have to go back and look at it. I mean, Robert went into deep stage, the thing. The top light went out, and I don't know if he did that intentionally, because it might have thrown him off, because it's a situation where either he was rolling in too far, not thinking about the actual hit and leaving on the light and thinking more about deep staging, or maybe the car just rolled. Either way, he was dead late. Now watch the top of the light on the left side of your screen. The light's going to go out. And then he just looked like he just forgot to leave. It didn't look like the car was rolling. And that's not the first time a driver's made that mistake.
Let's go to Dave Reed.
And just like Ron Capps, this is a team led by Dickie Venables that missed that crucial Friday night run. How does the points lead sound to you? You got it.
I didn't know that. It sounds great. We're just taking it one round at a time. Track's getting, it's the hottest that we've run on this weekend. Looked like it spun the tires down there, but fortunately we got the wind light.
And you get one more opportunity at it. Don't forget about that. Let's go get the win.
Dickie Venables back to work. The car very soon will be back in the pit area. Here are the matchups for the final. This is a rematch of 1 week ago, won by Tim Wilkerson. And Tim's going to have the lane choice when he comes back to face Tony Pedregon. And then what about that fight in Top Fuel and Antron Brown trying to sweep the swing? When we come back, we will hear from what must be a very nervous Antron Brown.
This is Gary Scelzi reporting live from the Autolite Fram Nationals in Sonoma.
What does this look like? A pasture for dried up or retired race car drivers? Seriously. Jeez.
Reefer, don't hurt our man. That was hard. That was hard. Whoa.
You guys are hard on us old retired drivers.
Greg Anderson and Ricky Jones are at the line. Here is the ladder. Greg and Ricky right now, and then Jason Line and Jag Coughlin. These are all great matchups.
Absolutely. The one on the line right now, that's this matchup right here. We've been talking about Greg Anderson. He's got to be on his game as the rounds get further along. You're running better competition, and he knows Ricky's been pretty good on the lights today. Greg hasn't been bad, but he hasn't been great on it.
Rookie going for his first ever Pro Stock final against a three-time champion.
Ricky got the advantage.
Yeah, look at that. Just kind of disappeared to the right there. Greg Anderson, 6:29 with a 9, 6:67 with a 1 for Ricky Jones, and Greg Anderson's getting things back together. He goes to the final. It's time for our Geico Power Sports Tractionary. Speed is what we're talking about here, and how to measure it.
It's a measurement of distance over time. And then with the NHRA, remember, the speed is calculated separately from the elapsed time. And in the NHRA, it is calculated in the final 66 feet before the finish line. This block here, all the way to that block there, they take the time, and they figured out the mile per hour off of that.
And let's take a look from above. That's how the speed trap looks. In the old days, it used to straddle the line.
Yeah, it was 66 feet past the finish line and 66 feet before. And when the driver drove it all the way to that back mile-an-hour light, they called it driving it out the back door.
Jason Line comes up now. He'll face Jag Coughlin. Coughlin has not raced his way into a final since he won at Englishtown. And Jason, I think without question, you're talking the quickest car here today.
This is a big matchup. You got, like you said, Jason, the quickest car here, but
Jag, a foot. It's all yours.
Jag hasn't been too far behind, and remember, you can never count out Jag. Although the average reaction times, we've talked about how good of a job that Jason Line's been doing this year. They've been very close in their average reaction times for the year, so this is a nice matchup right here.
Jaggy has the lane choice. He's already in pre-stage.
Jason had 200s off the line.
And you know what? That paid off. Jason Line, 661 with a 2. The hole shot needed. Jason Line takes the win. And Jag suffers his first hole shot loss of the season.
On board with Jag. 200s right there. You saw Jason get the jump off of the starting line, and he needed it because Jag ran slightly quicker in elapsed time, but Jason just had too much of an advantage off the start to make up the difference.
Take a look at it as they approach the line. Yeah, that was nice. That was very nice. So what do we have with Jason Line taking the win? The 12th All KB final. Greg Anderson and Jason Line. Will Jason help Greg out? We don't know. He's got lane choice. Probably not. 1 year ago at this track, Tony Schumacher became the 6th person to sweep the swing and grab the broom. Is Antron Brown going to be able to do that? Stay with us. Back, Sonoma, California. Boom, duck, I love that. It's now Pro Stock Motorcycles, and here is the ladder. Eddie Krawick and Doug Horn, the reigning champion and the rookie, and Matt Smith and Andrew Hines. Now, in that matchup coming up, we've got a major fact for you. But right now, Krawick and Horn.
Oh, Doug goes red.
That ends it that quickly. Eddie Krawiec will move into the final. Doug Horn has his third red light of the year. Eddie Krawiec, he's going to go into his 7th straight final. Let's go to Gary Gerald. He's at the top end and has Jason Line.
Jason is reviewing numbers with his teammate Greg Anderson that he will face in the finals. What's the pressure like? Is it reduced when you know you're going to go to the final against your teammate as opposed to some other challenger?
Reduced? That would be an understatement. we won. KB Racing won today, so it was. I mean, that was an amazing run. And I guess if a guy's going to have one good light, that's a good time to have it. So I've struggled. I know. I'm sorry. I've struggled driving all day, but it's a great thing. And anytime we beat the yellow car, it's great. 2 Summit cars in the final. We won the race today, and our boss Ken is not here this weekend. I don't know if things keep going on like this, he may be banned for a while. I don't know.
Have you ever seen a giddy 40-year-old? I think we just found one.
I said 40's the new 15. Matt Smith and Andrew Hines. This is a matchup of the quickest Harley of all time versus the quickest Suzuki of all time. Had the whole shot. Andrew Hines wins it 692 with a 9, 193 miles an hour. Angie McBride a little disappointed with that one. But for Vance and Hines, it's a big moment. 3rd final in a row that they will face one another. Andrew will have the lane choice over Eddie Krawiec. Well, Antron Brown's getting his face on, getting the fuel ready. Will he sweep the swing? We're very close to finding out. You're a drag racer, you know this place, Wallery's Pizza in Oregon. He even puts a sticker on the car from time to time. We're going to use putting topping on a pizza to compare to a nitro run. Just something you know versus something you've never done, likely. Okay, the ham's going on. Cheese is already on there. The sauce is down. There's 1 run. We're going for 2. Now we're going through 9 seconds. Got plenty of ham? Yeah, throw that on there. All right, spread it out. Spread it out. You're looking good. I think we're going to be it on 3 runs. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Don't move it over there. No! Please don't put I hate pineapple. Do not put pineapple
What kind of
on
pie
my pie.
do you like, Paul?
Come on, I'm an Italian kind of guy. Look at that. Just under 30 seconds and 6 runs. That's my pie right there. Some fast guys in motorcycle. Let's go to Gary.
Well, it's starting almost to sound like a broken record. 3 consecutive events. The Screaming Eagles will be side by side in the battle for the finals. And Andrew, you've got the better number going in with that 92 in this last session. What do you got in store for your teammate?
I'm just going to go out there and do the same thing, Gary. I've been riding good all weekend long. My lights have been there. Been just enjoying riding this V-Rod. You know, if you get a chance, go out to your local Harley-Davidson dealership, ride a new Harley, go out there and try and support our team. You know, it's all for a great cause. We're out here having fun. We get all the glory riding these Screaming Eagle V-Rods. You know, Harley-Davidson's done wonders for us back at the Juneau Avenue. Everybody at the PDC, you guys are helping us out a ton. Tony, Bob, everybody there. You know, I can't say thanks enough. And you know, we got a great group of guys back in Brownsburg at Vance & Hines Motorsports. So this is all for them.
Let's swing over here and we'll get a word with Eddie, if I can dance around the front of Andrew's bike. Eddie, what is this? 7 consecutive finals now, and you've had a tremendous season. What happens when you're going against your teammate? I mean, what kind of rivalry would you label it?
Well, it's a friendly rivalry, you know, but both of us, every time we race each other, we want to win. I want to win. He wants to beat me as much as I want to beat him. And we go out there and we give it the best shot, the best race against each other. You know, like Andrew said, Screaming Eagle, Vance & Hines V-Rods, going to the final, 3 consecutive races. You know, we couldn't thank all those guys that support us. And, you know, we stress it all the time, the factory workers, all the people that support us. So we're big fans. Everybody here in Sonoma, go out, buy yourself a Harley, support us, go get a V-Rod.
They're speaking in tandem these days. Meanwhile, there's history that can be made. Dave Reef is back in the pits with Antron.
And Gary, with that, the moment of truth is here for Antron Brown and his team owner, Mike Ashley. Now, Antron, we talked early in the day about the butterflies. What's going on now?
butterflies are flying high, you know, but I'm not going to let it get to me. Just going to take it one round at a time. It's the last round, so there's a lot more racing left. So he's got Corey Mack, a tough component, so it's going to be a good race.
Mike is a former U.S. Nationals champion as a driver. You know exactly what's going on, but for team owners and for crew members, how special is this moment for them?
This is very special. You know, we already established, you know, Antron's a great driver, but it takes a team effort to do something like this and pull this off. And for the crew chiefs and the crew, they've got to get the recognition as well. They've done a great job to get us here, and I think we'll get one more out of it.
The only man standing in that guy's way is Corey McLenithan, the driver, the sponsors race. But the fans are all ready. We are ready. Can history be made here in Sonoma today? Stand by. When we come back, we'll find out.
Guys, I'm telling you that is not Coke.
Well, it sure tastes like Coke.
Well, it's not. Yes, it is. Stupid, it is not.
Yeah, how do you know I'm stupid? I'm not stupid.
I can read. I can read.
You're giving me a headache. If you two can't get along, I'm going to make you eat dirt. And you'll have to wear the onion sombrero all day long, senor.
For your Coke taste, 0 calories.
In wine country, Hines and Craywick, the 4th time they'll go to the final as a team. How about Greg Anderson and Jason Line? 12th time the KB team comes to the line. Tim Wilkerson is looking for win number 13, while Tony Pedregon has never won at Sonoma. How about Corey McLenithan as he tries to end a 33-race slump? And Antron Brown wants to be the 7th to sweep the swing. Well, motorcycles are on the line, and this is Andrew Hines and Eddie Craywick.
3rd straight time these two have met in the final round. Norwalk, it was Andrew Hines. Denver, it was Eddie Craywick leading into the final round. Andrew Hines has the advantage on performance, even though Eddie Craywick, your #1 qualifier. Double 07 for Andrew. Nice job. He's been nailing that all day.
And that's all it took. Andrew Hines, 007 off the line, 697 with a 289 miles an hour. Stat guy?
Well, congratulations to Andrew Hines, his 17th career win. Think about this, though. The guy he just left in terms of the all-time list in Pro Stock Motorcycle with 16 wins was Antron Brown. We'll be seeing him in a few moments in the final. His brother, Matt, next on the list. He is 3rd all-time. He's got 30 race wins.
And I am with Matt Hines. It was a Harley-Davidson victory regardless today. This team has really been thundering. Despite this 20 pounds, how worried are you that this may get increased?
I don't know what they can do. You know, we didn't set low ET or top speed of the meet, and you know, the bikes are riding, the guys are riding great, and a lot of guys are out here red lighting, and we're just trying to have a couple of fast bracket bikes.
Hey, regardless, congratulations on another solid win. Gary Gerald?
Gloves coming off. The helmet will be off in a moment. Andrew Hines savoring his 2nd victory this season. Drew, when you broke through after a long drought at Norwalk, and now you come back just a few weeks later and do it again, what's that mean to you as far as the growth of your team?
It means an awful lot, you know, Gary. This team's done a great job getting my head back straight. I was a complete wreck last year. Towards the end of the year in the countdown, I was so stressed out about points. Thank you. But, you know, it just shows what the team can do for a rider. And, you know, luckily I'm piloting this Harley-Davidson down the track. And it's been a dream come true, you know. 2 wins this year. Eddie's got 3 wins. I'm loving this Dream Eagle Nancy Hines Harley right now, you know. There's a lot of people that back at the shop that, you know, really love these trophies, especially my little son, Ryan. You know, he's back in Indianapolis with my wife, Tanya. This one's for you, Ryan. We got to find a place to put it. We're out of shelf space, luckily. We'll find something else. But, you know, thanks to Fram, everybody that supports this race. You know, I think I'm the first person to win a 2nd race here in Sonoma, and it means an awful lot to me. We didn't get it last year. I got beat on a hole shot, so luckily I had some vengeance going on.
Absolutely. Congratulations, Drew.
Thank you.
I got room on my mantle. Hey, an all-team KB final for the 12th time. Greg leads 8-3 coming into this matchup. Greg Anderson's last win was at the finals last season at Pomona. Here are their meetings head-to-head.
Last time they met in the final was 2007 Sonoma. Here, that's kind of an amazing stat right there. But Jason Line, I'll tell you, He's had the car to beat all year long. We talk about Greg's struggle on the starting line, but Jason, as he said in his interview, he struggled the first 2 rounds and then nailed that light in the semifinal win over Jed Coughlin on a hole shot. Cars are pretty evenly matched, as they should be. You know, their teammates are making about the same amount of power. Jason does a lot of work on the dyno to make sure that both cars make a lot of horsepower. And right now, both of these drivers, I think, are just going to go up there and have some fun.
Well, you saw it with the Harleys and Craywick and Hines. It was the reaction time that really did it. Let's see what happens here.
Jason out first big time.
And Jason Line, who was worried about his driving earlier in the day, runs the 663 with a 9, comes off the line with an 024, takes the whole shot win at 208 miles an hour. Go to Dave Reed.
Rob Downing, it's been a couple of years since the Summit cars met up in a final. Comes out to Jason Line today, but talk about what this means to get both of these cars and the win, both these cars in the final.
Well, it's big, obviously. For our team, it's a huge boost, and we've got a long ways to go to get where we want to be, but for the Western Swing, felt pretty good about it, and glad to be here.
Anything Greg's going to take this one?
No, he'll be fine. As long as the Summit car wins, that's all that matters.
I'm going to bring him around the back. Here, Gerald.
Waiting for Jason to crawl out. He's on the opposite side of the car from us. They'll bring him around here momentarily, and he savors a 4th victory this year. He's never won more than 4 in a single season. Have you ever had a more consistent run than you're enjoying this season?
No, it's definitely been the best, and I want to thank all of our guys, because they've worked not just hard on the race car, but they've worked on me. Today I didn't do the greatest job, but you know, we haven't been that lucky always, so we cashed in on a little bit today, and it feels great. And I'm just so excited to win. I can't wait to get home and see my babies. And I want to say hi to some friends of mine from back home in Minnesota, the Hakamaki family. They had a tough loss last week, and I want to tell them all I'm thinking about them. So I'm thinking about you guys. Love you. It's a great day. Great day for the Summit car, and 2 Summit cars in the final. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Hard to beat birthday karma.
You're right about that. Well, let's look at Pro Stock points now. With the conclusion of the Western Swing, 5 guys have clinched a spot in the count down to 1. Points are still led by Jag Coughlin and Warren Johnson. Johnny Gray going to battle it out around that 10th spot. Will history be made? We'll find out shortly. See if Andron can sweep the swing.
Back off.
It's that time again. Nitro, yep, they're on the line. Funny cars, top fuel in just a minute. Tim Wilkerson and Tony Pedregon. Pedregon, right side of your screen, has never won here at Sonoma. His last win on the tour was at Englishtown. Tim Wilkerson, well, if you remember, he beat Tony Pedregon last week in Seattle in the final. He's looking for his 13th career and his 2nd of the season. Let's look at the weather.
And picture perfect all day long. It's kind of warm, 86 degrees. Very dry. Track temperature, though, close to 122, 119 degrees.
Dave Reed.
It looked to be a rather hurried pace for Tim Wilkerson, who wasn't up here right away, instead staying back in the staging lanes, changing the belt pulleys around a little bit. Of course, we've seen Tim in the past make those last-minute changes, sometimes for the good, sometimes for the bad. But there was a little bit of a hurried pace, Mike, then, as they came into the starting line.
Situation where you just look everything over, and sometimes you decide, hey, you know what, I don't know if that track is going to be what we originally said. And there are a lot of times, and basically what happens, the crew guys go up there and look at the track, and they'll radio back, say, hey, it's maybe a little bit greasier than what we thought it was going to be, or maybe it's a little bit better than what they thought it was going to be, and they make the proper adjustments.
By coming here into the finals, as we show you the wins by lane, Tony Pedregon took over the points lead in Funny Car. What a great battle that's become.
Good race.
Oh, yeah, that was good. Tim Wilkerson, he takes the win. 424 with a 9. They came off the line almost dead even. Wilkerson runs 284 miles an hour, and now he's got back-to-back wins. Is he back to his own style of last year?
Jeff Jacobs, congratulations. We talked a little bit about the last-minute belt pulley change in there. How critical was that to getting this win, do you think?
I think it was pretty critical. We tried to run the same blower again. It was a little warm. The temperature came way up, so it was a very good call on Tim's part.
As far as this team, how big is 2 in a row now?
Wow, we just can't believe it. This has been great. It's awesome.
Welcome back to the Funny Car Points race, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Down the far end, here's Gary Gerald.
Deja vu. We went through this similar experience just a week ago up in Seattle. The safety gear being taken off by Tim Wilkerson. The Levi Ray and Shout team celebrating second consecutive win and doing it impressively with a 424 in the heat. Tim, tell us about the drama in a change that was made with the belt pulleys.
Well, got up there watching the weather, and it's just getting away from me. And I didn't want the thing to be too weak. It shuddered in the bottom of the retard out there just then. And you know, trying to make the right tune-up calls. It's a tough deal. You know, it's great racing, and just can't say enough about Tony Pedregon. I tell you what, he's a great competitor, and I love racing him. And when you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. My pop used to tell me that when I was a little kid. And Fram-Autolite, great sponsors on my car. Ford Drive One. Get you a Ford if you don't have one. They're the best in the country. Levi Ranch Shop, Dick Levi, you're the man. Thanks again for all your help. Woo! Yeah!
There is a happy man. Corey McClenathan and Antron Brown. This is the moment. Can Antron do it? Well, we take you back the beginning of the Western Swing in Denver.
First race in Denver, Doug Collette in the final round. Doug had problems right off the starting line, but not Antron. He looked good all weekend and getting the first win of the Western Swing.
And then a week later in Seattle.
Once again, the final round. This was a great race against Tony Schumacher just by a nose. Antron gets the win with a 398 to a 399 elapsed time.
Well, there is Antron, and we go on board. We're going to show you at this season, he is tied up with Eddie Craywood.
That's most round win streaks there. 11 rounds. He's looking to get his 12th consecutive round win right now. And I'll tell you, right, you know, Corey's got the car coming into the final round. I mean, it changes every single time they come to the starting line. And we know Antron can definitely step up. Corey knows it. But don't count out Corey McClenathan. This is his sponsor's race, and boy, he really wants to win it.
Corey Mack's last win on the tour was at the Spring Las Vegas race in 2008, and he won over Antron Brown. His slump is 33 races.
There it is.
Oh, baby! Antron Brown, get the broom! That give you any idea how important that is? Dave Reef, it's pandemonium down there.
It is. It is an unbelievable starting line. Mike Ashley's picking up team members. Brian Karate, let me start with you. I asked you the significance of a Denver win. You said you can't sweep the swing unless you win Denver. You just done it.
Awesome. What a great day for Macco Tools team. Unbelievable. Mike came out to this race. That was like the icing on the cake. When he
pressure when he comes, though?
Oh, no pressure when he comes.
Congratulations.
Great job, guys. My team that supports me is the best. These guys are the best in the pits right now.
Mark Oswald, I got to ask you, as a driver, you never had the opportunity to sweep the Western Swing. What does this mean to you?
Oh, it's just great. I mean, I just got to thank, it's the vision of our team owner, Mike Ashley,
coming right through there.
Financial support from Matco and DirecTV, people like that, and just a great crew. Besides, look what Antron did for us today. He got this one for us.
You know what Mike Ashley said? There was never any doubt. Gary Gerald.
Andrew Hines, already a Wally winner, congratulating Antron. Antron, you've talked about this moment. We've talked about it with you.
Oh, thanks.
Can you put into words for us what it feels like to join this very select group?
Oh, come here, Corey. Hey, this is a Fram race. Thank you for Fram. Corey's the man, and he swapped it back in '97. This means a big deal. Joe Amato, Tony, Larry, all them guys. I mean, it's just incredible to be just mentioned with those guys. And He's a world champ right here and standing next to me, and we couldn't do it without these good people from Fram putting this race on. All of our macro distributors, Gary, Toyota, they give us the stuff to go fast, and it's just awesome to be out here. It's unbelievable. I'm speechless. Brian and Mark, all the guys did an unbelievable job. This is a special, special moment. Man, it's almost like winning a world championship. I wonder if this is what it feels like.
You ready to touch the broom?
I can touch it now. Now we can talk about a little sweeping because it happened. You know, that was a lot of pressure. Everybody talked about it. I tried to downplay it, but my stomach's going crazy. And but it takes a lot of good people to make this happen. Mike Ashley's the man. All those people work well. Lucas Oil couldn't do it without him. DirecTV. All of our great sponsors. Linda Merrick, get a home loan if you don't have one. We love them to death. All my family at home, I love you. Mom, grandma, my beautiful wife, my children. It's just incredible, guys. It's unreal.
Oh, little piece of history. Congratulations, Ant.
Thank you. Thank you. What did Corey run?
Yeah, well, you know, normally a guy's not all that excited about receiving a broom,
Oh
but
my God, what was the light?
now Antron Brown seems pretty happy with it, and he joins a big
That was
list,
a
Mike.
drag race.
And you look at all of them, but Corey McClenathan went on to win the championship. Will Antron Brown be able to do it? I'll tell you, he's got a car that's good enough to do it.
Oh, boy, he does. 12 rounds left to go to the countdown. Let's take a look at how this weekend affected the points. Well, you've got Antron, Tony, Larry Dixon, Brandon Bernstein. They have now clinched a position. And Corey McClenathan, by getting in the final, moved up one position. Now it's time for our quest for the full throttle moment of the race.
And we're going to start you out with Pro Stock Motorcycle. I'm going with the first round. Left side of your screen, Hector Arana. David Hope has a huge hole shot on him. Why did we pick this for a moment? Hector Arana had to run one of the fastest speeds of the year just to get the win. 195 miles per hour, and he was excited. Then in Pro Stock, how about Jason Line and Jeg Coughlin? Jason beats Jeg on a hole shot. That hardly ever happens, and it was the first time that Jeg has lost on a hole shot this year, setting the stage for Jason to take the win. And then funny car, Gary Densham up against his old boss, John Force. Gary Densham's only been out on the racetrack 3 or 4 times this year, but man, you would never be able to tell it by that run. He takes out the boss, and he is happy. Then in Top Fuel, how about, it's got to be the final round. Antron Brown up against Corey Mack in a great race. Antron gets the win to sweep the Western Swing, and the team and the crowd go wild.